I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is.
All right, welcome everybody here to our B stream here. BPL season 7 continues over here. We've got Goatmen versus Boa. I did not have the forethought to check what league we're in right
We are
now.
in C League, Clutch.
C
We got
League, okay,
we
yeah,
got in
okay,
C
that's
League.
okay. All right, yeah, fair enough. But yeah, we're in the C League. Goatmen versus Boa, Thor, we're back here. You've had a bit of a busy day, so why not, clean it up with some C League action? A pretty high profile for the C League.
This is pretty much a matchup between what is the number 1 seed and the current number 3 seed. Implications of this is if Goatmen win and Boa lose, there's 3 teams currently going to be in 4-1 if that happens, and it's all going to just be map differential based. So Goatmen have the opportunity to 2-0 this and flip the script.
Yeah, I mean, a lot riding on this. I mean, I've done quite a few matches this weekend, and this is the first one that has any, real implication on, what could happen. So that's exciting as we look at these teams through their first their first 4 matches rather, as we get ready to head into the 5th match. Yeah, like Goatman 3-1, only having that one loss a couple of weeks ago. Boa down there undefeated, only losing 2 maps throughout this season so far. So both of these teams have a very, very serious case to take this match store. So I'm really, really excited to see what they're going to roll out with.
And if I am neither of these teams, but I'm on Umphi University, who have already played their match for the week, you're really watching this to see how it impacts you, because depending on the outcome, you might just find yourself sneaking into the number 1 seed all of a sudden and not in the precarious number 2. So there's a lot of at least bye weeks opportunities that's hanging in the balance among these 3 teams. But this is really up to Boa and Goatman to set it straight as we take a look at, the lineup for these respective teams.
First up, Goatmen. We got Taken, Wallet, Red Beast, Verity on that DPS line, Zale on the tank, and then Bippy Hope and Okami in that back line. They're trying to make their case for the number 1 seed. Could very well do it here tonight. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've got in them, because I'll be honest with you, Thor, I haven't really been present, especially for the C League. So I'm excited to see what 2 of the best have got to show us.
Exactly, and to deal with the beef or create some beef is Boa, with Andrew and Alu being that very steady back DPS line and have done so much work for this Boa team. And then you have the tank line of Taco and Hunter Tane, who really switch depending on what's needed at a given moment, and finally rounding it up with Biscuit, C Carrot, and Tracy. But I know there is at least some beef apparently between Hunter Tane and Hippie, and it all has to do with how you pronounce a certain CGL ad.
yeah, I mean, that'll happen. They've spent a lot of money on that, so shouts out, I guess. But yeah, I mean, these 2 teams have proven themselves to be very, very strong all season. I mean, you can't really take anything away from the performances that we've seen thus far. They've been incredible. So, I mean, you just look forward to, I'm really excited because I don't know anything about these teams. I have been away for a while. The C League is always a lot of fun, a lot of shenanigans always happening in the C League. So should be a great time.
But speaking of great time, we are heading to our first map of Rialto, and Rialto really known for longer sightlines, so you're probably expecting some maybe Widowmaker shenanigans that might pop up if you have a really amazing and solid consistent Widowmaker player, and if the off chance you don't, there's a bunch of other options you could play with, as it's not really wholly long sightlines in Rialto.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of high ground to play around with. There's, like you said, the sight lines are decent, not too bad. I think we will see a decent bit of hit scan play here. I've really liked Ashe recently, to be honest with you. But we will see the Sigma and the Juno band. I think that from Goatmen, the Sigma band, they just don't want to poke, and I think that's fine. I think Sigma is a good character on this map for certain, so it's not really a bad ban at all. The other side, Juno is Juno, right? That Orbital Ray is still such a dominant ultimate in the speed ring. Everything that she provides, she is still one of the best all-around supports right now, right up there with Kiriko. So, I think that both of these bans really do make some level of sense.
And I think you banned the Juno to really force the force Goatmen into a composition that might either rely on a Lucio, like maybe or force into that kind of Kiri Lucio backline or Bat Lucio backline, or you're forcing them to play on a Brig at the end of the day. And each of those are a bit more calculated in how they rotate and what the safe spots are, so it's easier to just really dive upon them if that is what Boa wants to do as we enter into Rialto.
Wait
a minute.
That doesn't seem.
That doesn't
okay.
look...
So somebody's lying to us right now.
Okay. I trust the Solomon GG website more.
Yeah. I mean, so knock on wood, baby. That's yeah. For
I
sure,
love a
man.
knock on wood production, guys.
Knock on wood moment. You don't
I
have
think
to
it's
say,
breaking.
You don't have to see anything, knock. Oh, we get it. Yeah, you suck. But yeah, Rialto, that's where we head for map number 1. Of course. I agree. I think that we see, potentially some of that dive. We're not going to see poke because the best poke tank is out, which I think is the second best, or probably the best option. Second best is going to be the dive. I'm curious to see what what they've got for us. But
that is not, guys. This is A-League. What is happening? It's breaking.
What is happening? Okay,
Why
I see Taken Wallet. I see Hippie. I see Hunter.
Okay, guys. We are now casting the new Frogs on Fire team versus Primal Pineapples. Primal Pineapples with Taken Wallet and Bag Chaser really doing so much of the work. No, this is Goatman versus Boa. If you do want to have another stream online, Primal Pineapples and Frogs on Fire are happening on the A stream for a shameless plug of sorts. So already we could see what these teams are rolling out with. We have a very thank you for switching back to Monkey. But Goatmen are sticking to a Diva defense, which allows for more control of this high ground. I think you're going to struggle just a bit more in what might be contesting the point, as opposed to maybe Hunter Taint on this Monkey. But Andrew going to look for a clean shot right away, get some heads off, and if I were a Goatman, I just...
That was a little... Oh, what? Good night, Andrew.
1, 2, 3, take it, Wallet.
I mean, the guy's nuts, I guess. Straight up. Okay, Andrew immediately switching over to the Freya here. Taken Wallet cannot deflect the Tesla cannon, so needs to get away. Now we're going to see a Genji duel here on the high ground. Here to help out is Bag Chaser. Taken Wallet, Bag Chaser. That's an excellent name combo, I might add. But now it's Goatmen playing this far high ground, trying to keep the positioning of their own. Hunter Tane looking for an opportunity to jump, but it's not really coming up super big. But Alucard is able to drop Hippie down here in this, fight and a half here. See that Genji very, very low, taking Wallet, able to live. Hunter Tane needs to, though.
He needs to survive, and for Goatmen, that's some time to at least regroup with everyone, but Alucard already taking the high ground means, and clear out Taken Wallet, so no highway robberies happening on the side of Italy, so Rush committed just to keep things going.
Yeah, Kitsune Rush down, gonna see that cleanse out on it to Red Beast, who now takes the fight into their own hands. Unfortunately, had to shoot into a bit of a deflect there. Needs to play it safe, able to run back, keep themselves up. Biscuit has the Nano Boost ready to go. Alucard has a Dragon Blade ready to go themselves. Will not get a chance to pop it, though, as Alucard is taken down by Taken Wallet. A bit of a flip on the head there of what we've seen so far. Biscuit now stuck behind the reception desk. C-Carrot, no shot. The Braid gets away.
Nope. Hippie just ready to drop people off the map, or at least kill them before they're able to do so. But Boa now have 3 ultimates to work with, and we're definitely expecting a Nano Blade combo coming up. So this is going to be relying a lot on Hippie to get this last 3% off the beat online. But a pause is being called by Andrew, so it seems like someone might be struggling a bit with the ping tech difficulties. Could be a mic issue, could be a headphone issue. One way or another, it's a great time to pause because the fight has not started yet.
I mean, I was looking at those ultimates before we headed out. I think Goatmen have 4. The only one, I think it's 3. One's really, really close. Okami did use that Kitsune Rush in the fight previous, so do not have that, about 40% or so. Bo basically got 5. So this is going to be a heavy fight, or a heavy ult investment coming in here for this next fight once we come back. I'm keeping an eye on the stream so I can know for sure just how long that we've got. It's about 1:40 on the clock, headed into this next fight as well. So, we're through about half of the time bank here. Goatmen have locked it down pretty well, being able to control the high ground on this D.Va thus far. It's looked very, very stalwart so far, and I mean, I like the Winston in general, and Alucard has been playing very, very well, but on the Genji, that is. But Hunter has not found the massive value that you'd like so far.
But we are back in the game, and Red Beast manages to get Andrew in the process and are looking for the clean up on Al's staircase, but Monkey jumping in looking not so great.
Well, here's the Primal Rage from Hunter under a lot of pressure in that small room, taking a lot of damage. Getting a nice little juggle there on to Red Beast. Gets the trade Dragon Blade pulled. Need to find something with it. Will not. That blade right back into the sheath. Bullet shots ready to go here for Andrew. Not quite able to land some of these shots. Finally lands one. Sound Barrier is the answer to the Nano Blade. Hippie will fall here. Bowl is eaten up by Bag Chaser, but Alucard with that Nano Boost. Beautifully done. Cuts down 2 with the blade. Will push Boa through the end of Objective A.
Yep, the Nano Blade combo really just eating through the beat. Really wasn't able to just melt through Alucard from everyone else in Goatmen. So Goatmen at least have 2 ultimates for this next engagement. Boa have nothing. They used pretty much all their ultimates to get this first point cap. It was worth it in their eyes, right? Because now they're at a 3-minute time back to continue through the second phase of Rialto. Now for Goatmen, Red Beast has this visor, so you should be able to get some value. Well, never mind.
Never mind indeed. Hunter getting a little bit blocked by that map geometry again. It always comes up. It will always come back up.
Hey there.
Goatmen basically winning that engagement. Fight hasn't quite been won yet. Bag Chaser and the rest trying to jump on to Biscuit, who is alive in the corner, but just barely. Kitsune Rush down, gonna pop the tactical visor now. Locking onto Biscuit, but there's not enough of Biscuit shown to lock onto, so that tactical visor will just go into the wall. Trying to keep up this fight against Hunter Tane, though, as the Winston continues to go. It could be a boop. Not quite gonna connect there for Hippie. Thrown into the wall, maybe get away. Will do so. They're gonna go grab that mega health pack. Hunter Tane gonna go in with this rally from C-Carrot, while Yeah, Bag Chaser just gonna fly away, go jump on Biscuit, who finally goes down there. Alucard getting burned down in the top, dashed through by taking Wallet as Hunter Tane has to jump across the river to get away.
Just some highway robbery on an old lady in the high ground. Does not matter, the cart is moving. They're just really trying to steal things from an old lady trying to run for her life. Goatmen, 2 ultimates to work with, at least to sustain through this next engagement, because as we already know, Boa have yet again a Nano Blade in the pocket, and this time could be comboed off or at least sustained afterwards with maybe a overclock. But never mind, Red Beast decides no robotic man.
God, Thor, you just keep doing it.
I'm just calling it out when it's about to happen. Like,
that's like the 3rd fight in a row that you've said something is gonna happen. That person dies. Like.
Look, I'm just reading into the future at this point. There's gonna be a Nano Blade. Hippie's gonna at least survive through it, but not enough of the beat is going to keep everyone alive unless they can focus fire on Alucard with this Nano. The other option you could do is just Nano the Winston and go ham, but no, they're just going to the backline.
Well, here's the Dragon Blade from Taken Wallet, and the Nano Blade for Alucard may find something, but it just won't be enough because, I mean, there's already 3 players dead on the side of Boa. It's a 2 versus 1, well, 3 versus 1 now. And they're going to pop Primal Rage. Hunter going to invest here instead of trying to live. They've only got 15 seconds left, so if Hunter goes down, okay, Hunter will live. Going to go back in, has the bubble ready to go. Popping that Tesla cannon, sound barrier down, and the overclock popped right after. That is a travesty for Andrew. Tactical Visor from Red Beast also canceled out, but these supports not exactly having the best time of their life on the high ground here, and they may well cap it. They won't. I don't think that there's enough in the way of numbers here for the capture here, and especially with that self-destruct on top of the cart. That was a impressive ante by Biscuit. Too bad it was worthless, but good hold by Goatmen. The defense very, very strong, but that is a very, very winnable spot for Boa on the defense now.
I think for Boa, if you can do a solid defense, even just at the first point, because there have been teams who can full hold on the first point of Rialto, that might be your better target more than just relying on, okay, prevent them from reaching wherever we reached on second. I think it's actually feasible for Boa to defend on the whole of first point without Goatmen fully capping it, but we're already seeing how this tank DPS line of Goatmen like to function, and they're really just capitalizing on the fact that Biscuit really likes playing this Ana with the Brig, so they don't really care anymore, I guess, in a sense of, you know, Alucard and Hunter Tane trying to go for the point. They're just saying, hey, Red Beast, you can do it. You can survive along with like our Kiri and Lucio. You'll be fine, right? You can sustain long enough, and we'll get the picks on the other end. That's how it seems to be playing.
All right, well, differences here for the side of Boa. We'll see how this adaptation is going to help them. You know, the D.Va tends to do a little bit better defensively, so we shall see as Taken Wallet gets to poking immediately. Not much happening as the D.Vas kind of tickle each other from afar. Taken Wallet has to pop that deflect there in the face of Hunter Tane, who has actually gotten slowly very low, already half HP here. Still, nothing really happening too major. As you can hear, Red Beast has gone up over to the high ground. Sea Carrot has to get away, drop below 80 HP there. And still, Thor, nothing is dying just yet. Both teams are playing incredibly cautiously here. You see the D.Vas going at it on the cart, but shots not really landing. Okay, there you go. There you go. Yep. That's 1 and 2, and now the Goatmen on their attack have finally broken it. It only took a little over a minute for anything to happen, but you take what you can get, I guess.
Yep, you take what you can get. You move the cart continuously through this first point. You may need to slightly push up a bit, as you already see the other players of BOA coming back up. So there should be another fight on the point, especially now that Goatman is down 1. No ultimates just yet. Building towards a rush. Never mind, rush is gone for BOA, but Goatmen will have their rush and beat in this next engagement.
Yep, and they're only 2 meters away. Alucard dashes in, already knowing that they are, not staring down an opposition's Genji. Self-destruct will not connect, but it was not intended to, and somehow Okami comes in and grabs that sound barrier down. Getsune Rush answered there from Biscuit. Throwing out the cleanse is Okami. Sound barrier down in the face of this overclock. A lot of stuff happening in such a small space. Andrew trying to keep it going as the tactical visor is dropped. Randrew able to get rid of Red Beast, who did throw in that tactical visor, and now there's only 2 ultimates left, and they're both the same one. Imagine.
So, yes, Hippie, that is what you should be doing. Great job. As he said, a lot happened. And I think a part of it really is, I think there was some place that felt a bit more ambitious than others. I think Goatmen were just really wanting to lock it in, and it seemed like the target focus kind of dwindled after time. But there's going to be a Blade v Blade scenario, and with where the cart is, it's looking, it might be slightly in favor of Alucard, because Goatmen are bunched up in more of a tighter area of the first point of Rialto compared to where everyone else in BOA is. So Taken Wild has a higher job, but is being forced out already by Huntertane.
Trying to keep this fight up, but those health pools are not looking too good here for the Goatmen. Dragon Blade pulled by Alucard. In a fight that it seems like BOA had already won, so if you're Goatmen, you just have to disengage and try to take advantage of that misstep.
You have 30 seconds on the clock. If you are Goatmen, BOA have 2 other ultimates to work with for this next engagement. If you're Goatmen, you're trying to at least force out maybe this rush with the blade, or build towards your rush on your own.
Okay. That's a travesty. Dragon Blade pulled. Biscuit good down there. I think, yeah, that was the only answer that they had. Andrew is able to take down Taken Wallet posthumously. Alucard now pressure does not have much in the way of cooldowns. Trying to keep Huntertane in this fight to get the self-destruct up and ready to go, but Hunter cannot get that sound barrier down. Hits 3. Alucard, Hunter, and Sea Carrot durable in this fight now. Gonna see that self-destruct in from Bag Chaser. Sea Carrot will go down behind the objective. Red Beast killed again early in this fight, but Bag Chaser has come alive. Hat trick for the Bag Chaser. 1 versus 2. Biscuit very, very low. Bag Chaser finally getting some reinforcements, so too are BOA trying to take care of Biscuit, but the Swift Step will keep them in this fight. Sound barrier from Hippie hits 3. They're going to have a tactical visor coming back as well. Self-destruct in from Huntertane will not connect. But the re-mech will. Hippie goes down. D-mech on to Bag Chaser. But the tactical visor in from Red Beast coming in, trying to save the day. Finds 1, helps to get 2. Andrew is low. Dragon Blade pulled. Bag Chaser back in mech. This Dragon Blade might find another. Will find another. Huntertane lost the mech. Now it's Bag Chaser left alone. 1 versus 3. Now 2 versus 3. Bag Chaser finds another. Bag Chaser finds 2. 2 versus 1. And it's unfortunate because Biscuit has come in with the kunai. And BOA has won the map. Absolutely grueling there. But they get it done in the end.
Oh my gosh. If there was just heroic plays from, honestly, from Bag Chaser for a huge chunk of that last fight. It seemed like there were so many opportunities for it to turn into, Goatman's way, but just the picks from BOA just cleaning it up, and the reinforcements, just the shorter spawn area, just really working in their favor. So just really unfortunate, and just great job for BOA, really. It looked like it could have turned not in their favor a couple of times, but really just locked it in and communicating where people were contesting and touching the point.
I mean, sometimes you can do all that you absolutely physically can as a human, and it just won't be enough. That's kind of what we saw there, to be honest with you. Goatmen really did try. I mean, I respect that the perseverance from Goatmen at the end, especially from Bag Chaser. Right, Bag Chaser kind of just lived there for a year and a half. It's unfortunate that is a diva as good as she can be in those scenarios. She can't do everything alone, and when you've got these people falling all around you, sometimes it is what it is. So now we head to map number 2, which is going to be Nepal here, and to be honest with you, Thor, do not expect to see super similar gameplay out here on Nepal as we get ready to head into our bans. We're not going to be seeing a whole lot of dive, I do not think, especially with our first ban from Goatmen being Genji.
I mean, as much as Alu and Taken were really faring head to head, right, in this Genji mirror, both able to get value with their respective Genji blades. I think just Alu having a flex support who likes playing that Ana just always provides a huge value for Nano Blade at the end of the day. So removing the Genji at least relieves some pressure to the other players on Goatmen, but already you could see Boa banning the Diva instead, which is a pretty interesting ban because I think it signals that they're expecting the tank player of Goatmen to be just a Diva main at the end of the day, and they're trying to lock this in. So I'd like to see that maybe that's not the case. I haven't really seen much Goatmen matches for me to say otherwise, but maybe there is still a brawl potential in the pocket of Goatmen.
Yeah, we do have a substitution coming in here. We've got Verity coming in for Red Beast on the side of Goatmen. And Fragster coming in for Hunter as well on the side of Boa. So getting a couple of those substitutions out of the way. I'm interested, right? Because Bag Chaser looked really good on the Diva. Absolute menace. And I think I really wasn't going to expect a lot of Diva on Nepal. I could see it working with the way the Bag Chaser was brawling basically alone for the most part. But I think that the Diva ban might come down to the fact that if Bag Chaser did play Diva, Hunter would have felt obligated to match that, which is what basically happened on Rialto. And I don't think Hunter wants to play Diva. So,
I think Boa, if they can get away with it, would really just want Biscuits on that Ana. I think Biscuit is incredibly comfortable on Ana, so that's probably why, it's one of those things where you don't want the Diva in, because the Diva is just going to constantly dive on the Ana and try to pressure out any healing the Ana is going to provide. So the ban makes some level of sense from the side of Boa.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really hate either of the bans coming in here, because even if you're not going to run a dive, Genji is still always a decent option. And as well as Alucard was playing, that's not to take away from how well Taken Wallet was playing. But Alucard was kind of fragging on the Genji, so not surprising at all. Both of them looked like they are going to be taking up the mantle of the Sojourn player, though, here on Nepal. Alucard going over to the Sim for the moment. I imagine Verity probably going to be going over to a Tracer after TPing their team. Maybe?
I think that is your best play if you're planning to play a Sojourn into this, is you're playing Sojourn Tracer, but no, they're rolling
they're gonna
out
keep it
with this, and I do not mind this in a way. At least you could melt the shield and whittle down the Ramatra just better.
I guess we'll have to see as we head into Nepal Shrine here. Andrew doing a little bit of poking with that alt fire on the Freya. Now Nemesis form in here from Fragster. helping to take down a couple here early in this fight, breaking through instantaneously. Oh man, you needed to win that fight if you were going to commit to this sim.
Yeah, and I think we might see a swap from Goatmen if they with this pick, but it seems like they're very insistent on it. But I think the fact that Boa is running a Kiryusho backline might make this a bit more challenging for them, just because there really isn't anyone to TP onto without getting hyper melted.
Alright, well, another attempt here from the Goatmen. They're going to be good for the first here. Biscuit falls early. Could with the torpedoes, not quite. Alucard also falling here. I can't tell what's happening. I'm lagging very badly at the moment.
No worries. It's at the end of the day, they pressed W, especially that Biscuit was the first one to fall from somehow a kill from Varieties. So 40% on the clock, on the percentage for Boa, and that's not a bad place to be in. But now that Goatmen have set themselves on point, the turrets should get a bit more value from the side of Goatmen and slow down players as they push in.
This bunkery comp, you know, this is where you're going to want it to work the best, and it looks like it's doing very, very well. Goatmen mostly playing on the inside of the objective where those turrets will help the most, and now trying to chase down the stragglers as they move into the lead here on Shrine.
Boa with 4 ultimates for this next engagement. Same for Goatmen. Well, no, Goatmen have 5, so this is going to be a test of really just equally trading ultimates rather than full committing all that you have on the board. But if you're Boa, you're probably opening up with a rush. And in the case of Goatmen, you're sustaining that either through a rally or through an orbital ring.
Alright, here we go. A bunch of ultimates out here. The Terror Surge from Bag Chaser pulling everyone in and taking them down. And it was expensive, but they get the win there. Unfortunately, the only ultimate used on the other side was Biscuit's Kitsune Rush.
Yeah, and I think that's what felt a bit expensive through all of that, but I think the rally was just really there to make sure no one escaped the Terra Surge of Bag Chaser. But now really Wall isn't going to do much effect when you're running into Annihilation, so overclock committed.
Alright, well here, wow. Taking Wallet, just absolutely shutting the mouth of Andrew, and there won't be anybody to contest as the rest of Boa falls. Goatmen take the first submap here on Nepal.
Taking Wallet, taking names, making Andrew answer through all of them, denying anything. Yep, that has been the play. But for Boa, they really were entering that fight at least with ultimates to work with. I think they were just lucky, decent picks actually from the side of Goatmen that stopped them from even touching the point. And just looking at the death count, you could see how much of a struggle Boa had trying to get back the point after losing it. A lot of it is just really, I think, the brawlier potential that Goatmen have, and at least some level of sustain, at least from, you know, a more brawly rallying break.
Alright, headed in here, and Goatmen with the excessive mobility that the Symmetra provides are well in position here as Alucard on the side going over to the Cassidy, getting rid of those turrets. Now the punch is coming through from Fraxter, but they can't connect. They're trying to take care of this Symmetra, but all that attention going to Verity means that the entire team of Boa is dead before they can even drop that Sim. First flip will belong to Goatmen.
With how much of a problem the Symmetra is causing, I am expecting a Sim ban on map 3 if Goatmen win this map. Goatmen, no ultimates to work with just yet, but they are trying to keep this high ground in their favor, and that's not going to help when your Juno is down.
Yep, so one support out, but there is a trade. Andrew finds another heady. Looking for more, wanting to take more, can't quite find it there. Keeping it going finally breaking through the Orisa hold there from Bag Chaser. Goatmen will finally go down. Boa slide over to the point, so they're going to cap at about 35.
Yep. 34. We'll have ultimates for this next push. Boa will have a rush, so that rush is probably going to... They're either going to tempo with it or sustain with it. So I think what might work better for Boa is to, well, sustain through it, as now Goatmen have taken the point.
Yeah, very, very quick re-engagement there for the side of Goatmen. Not even letting Boa have a chance to control this objective. Now we're going to see the Annihilation down. And a great job pulling Fragster back into the fight with that Terra Surge, but it won't even matter. What looked like it was going to be a strong fight from Goatmen with the investment that they made, Boa just kind of slips right out of it.
I don't think it's a bad investment, though. You capped the point for free, right? Forced Boa to fight for it back. Forced them to use 2 big ultimates. That was a rush. That was a Annihilation. As Goatmen, you don't have to worry anymore of that Annihilation when you decide to pop Wall of Symmetra. That's going to deny so much of the overclock and even the high noon.
Well, here is the wall in from Verity and another instant flip from Goatmen. And Fragster is like incredibly low. Taking Wallet, able to avoid the Deadeye there. And even though Hippie has gone down, the free flip comes through and Goatmen will move past 70%.
Yep, and Taken Wallet just cleans up whoever took Hippie out. So if you're Goatmen, you're in a decent spot. You still have overclock, 2 overclocks to work with, but from both sides. But Boa on a slight advantage. They might tempo beat this just to get back onto point and sustain through it.
Oh, and Biscuit goes down before the sound barrier is casted out. Now overclock from Andrew to try and answer, but 15 HP is a kind of a not very much. 6, even less. Trying to keep it going. Andrew finally goes it down. Goatmen come in with an unconventional composition with that Symmetra, and they dominate there, especially on Village. They're going to get their first map here. Match point, we are headed to a map number 3 to decide this series. It's going to be Eichenwald, Thor. I mean, I'm kind of excited. This match has been insanely close.
I'm excited because I want to see how Boa are going to respond. Because now that we see Goatmen have this Symmetra pick in their pocket, they could really still opt to play this Orisa Symmetra composition on Eichenwald if they decide to do so. But if you ban out that Symmetra and Boa can't ban the Diva again, the Diva's just back on board. This kind of slightly leans in the favor, at least on what the tanks of Goatmen want to play. But I think Boa can make it work. I think they were just might be slightly struggling on how to play into something very unconventional. It seems like Boa is more proficient, at least from the other games of Boa I've seen, into playing into compositions that are a bit more traditional and set. Rarely do you see teams running into a Symmetra, so I would not be surprised if this is what threw them off for a loop and they're going to try figuring it out.
I mean, yeah, with Symmetra, there's a lot of things that you have to think about, right? Because you've got to be worried about the shields, like with what we saw with the Ramatra, or even if you're thinking about like an Orisa. She reloads off the shields. She gains charge off the shields. Orisa can't block that damage with Spear Spin. The turrets are annoying, slow you, reveal you, damage you. So many things to think about with Symmetra. Like you saw it a little bit there, where in order to break through the hold up there on the high ground of Goatmen, especially early on in the fight, right? You had to send somebody on a flank. I believe it was the one who was playing the Cassidy last map. It was Alucard, I think. I think it was Alucard. Alucard had to go on a flank to help their team get rid of those turrets that were, above the door on the top of the high ground. So when you're thinking about like having to deal with that, there's a lot of mind games, and Boa are not gonna go toward the Symmetra ban. Maybe they think that they can figure it out here on map number 3. But they're going to go towards the Soldier 76, maybe thinking that Red Beast was coming back into the lobby.
I think that might be what they're trying to do. Is they know Red Beast is coming back into the if the Red Beast comes back into the lobby, they're likely playing the Soldier, so you nerf their ability to play that. Your other option then for Goatmen then is to keep Variety on and play something maybe with that Orisa and the Sim, because the Sim is still viable. A bit trickier to play on something like Eichenwald, but still feasible. Now, Goatmen banning the Kiriko, I like. This seems very mind games level of, Biscuit likes to play a Ana. Really, she's really good at it. But you saw on Rialto that she's willing to switch into a Kiri Lucio as needed to, survive and keep the team up and not get dove on by a diva. Now that the diva's back in play, you kind of want to nerf, the ability of maybe Biscuit to just get away on that Ana by playing a different hero. And so the Kiri's there. But apparently, Red Beast is still staying out. Variety is staying in.
I mean, that's what happens, right? Because substitutions happen after bans most of the time, and that's no different here. So you see the Soldier 76 ban, you say, Red Beast, we know what you want to do. You're not going to be allowed to do it. So we're going to let Verity run through the end of this series, which kind of what I expected, to be honest with you. I really didn't expect Red Beast to come back in with that Soldier ban. But yeah, I agree with you. I think that I really think that BOA wasted their Diva ban on Nepal. Because Nepal is not a map. It's like you can run Diva on Nepal, but especially if BOA were already planning on coming out and brawling on the Ramatra, you think that Ramatra, when you want to go play bunker down on the objective, would be able to deal with a Diva. But because they blew the Diva ban on Nepal, they can't ban it on Eichenwald. And now they will have to deal with the consequences of that, right? I agree with you. Biscuit is going to be supremely uncomfortable here. We know that she wants to play the Ana. The second string choice was the Kiriko. Kiriko's gone. So if we're heading into this and BOA wants to stay undefeated, they're going to have to be incredibly creative with how they figure out how to get through this Goatmen lineup, because they're going to be basically doing what they want, how they want to play it. Whether that's the Sim or some other weird shenanigans that they pull out just for Eichenwald, I can't be sure. But what I do know is that basically they're going to be their best opportunity to take down BOA.
Yep. And I think that is something we are definitely excited to look forward to, because you want this is a close match and it changes the narrative, right? If Goatmen manage to do this, it changes the narrative completely for the C League, especially in that top 3 spot. So already loading in with BOA being the first attack as we wait for what Goatmen plan to walk out with. This is
not what I expected.
I like it. I've seen this composition played.
Dirty bubble, dirty bubble, dirty bubble.
Yeah.
Dirty bubble, dirty bubble.
And the great thing about it is Bag Chaser has 2 targets that he could get value from, right? And also for those watching, Bag Chaser is Zale, for those who were not familiar, but it's still funny calling them Bag Chaser because the highway robbery theme is very on point here.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, to be honest with you, the taking wallet Bag Chaser type stuff. But here we go, Hunter back into the lobby here for BOA, gonna be on the Winston here. No surprise. But what was surprising, I think, is that Hunter had no clue that there was going to be a Reaper in the lobby. So a great fight there, instantly taking down Hunter and holding by Goatmen.
Yep, Alcor dropping very low, manages to be chased out of their robotic arms by Bag Chaser, and Bag Chaser just trying to get another set of items into their clutches. Nothing to work with yet, just a few poke and back and forth as Boa trying to figure out how they're going to engage onto this composition, because I'll be real with you, if they really wanted to, they could really try the Ana. I don't know, force out bubble cooldowns is still great. Just have Biscuit accept the fact that they're dead 24/7.
Alright, well, the answer is maybe the Junker Queen, and that's going to help to take down Hippie here quickly. Verity coming to help out their tank. Bag Chaser very low, gets the bubble off, needs some healing but cannot get it. It's just Okami left on the objective. And that will be Boa grabbing probably 2 ticks, but most likely the point.
I think if you're Goatmen, you might as well just give them the point. And already you see the mind games. We have more swaps. Already seeing that Hunter Tate switching over to the Junker Queen. Goatmen are saying, okay, we now play the Diva. And just as quickly, Hunter Tate switches back to a Winston. So if there's one thing we're sure about in this matchup, we're going to be seeing a lot of just tank swaps and not so much tank ultimates to work with in these fights. No ultimates just yet. Andrew closest with that overclock and a blade from Taken Wallet.
Alright, well, I mean, this is one of the better objectives to dive here on this map as the engagement down on the low ground occurs. Bag Chaser in the Pilot Diva form, good for a couple. Hippie staying alive effectively there on the low ground. 4 minutes now for Boa as we head into B.
Yep, Boa will have 4 ultimates to work with in this next fight, so I'm pretty sure this is going to be some level of a Genji Blade layered either with your Orbital Ray or with your Rally, one or another to sustain. But Goatmen have also 4 ultimates.
Alright, well there is the Dragon Blade from Alucard. Bag Chaser gets back into the mech, but Alucard has already found 2 with the blade. Does end up going down to the micro missiles here. Hippie's Rally not finding as much as I'm sure he would have liked it to. They're just trying to live here as best they can. We'll see if they get it done.
Yep, and that is not a bad trade. A Rally for a Genji Blade. Taken Wild still has their own Genji Blade, and you could open up with this high noon potentially, especially when the bubble finally drops.
Gotta be careful with the whip shot. We're gonna see the OC answered there as Hunter Tane goes off the map, unfortunately. Biscuit very low. Verity was, but the supports are there to help out greatly, and will be a hold here from Goatmen.
Yep, Goatmen still with 2 ultimates. The Genji Blade still on wide. Taken Wallet holding what he has since I don't know when, but C-Carrot still has that break rally, so you're already expecting probably the rally is going to be in response to this Genji Blade. So if you are Goatman, you're just constantly trying to look for this dive target, already looking for Biscuit, #1 target.
Well, Verity doesn't have a head anymore, and Taken Wallet cannot climb up the wall. Good for Biscuit finally. We'll just have to climb up and get away, but the damage has been done already. Trying to take care of Alucard on the high ground. Will get that one in the books as well, as Boa are forced out one more time, already down half their time bank.
Yep, 220 on the board left. Primal available. Goatman, interesting switch to the Sombra.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure why, but
Harass Biscuit? More?
Even more? Oh no, we're just really tilting a person, aren't we? Oh no.
I mean, you have to. Bag Chaser will have to use the self-destruct to get back into the mech. The Disruptor shot will take them out, but Hunter going to jump over to the objective, and now Alucard with 43 HP. Sees the hack. Health pack, can't grab that. Will go down, but the point is moving right now, Thor.
I mean, Taken Wallet versus a Monkey. Monkey's just going to back up. The respawns of Goatmen are already there. So if I'm Hunter Tane, that was a great call to just regroup. Verity is really keeping the packs in check, and I think that's just slowing down the ability of Alucard to regroup with everyone else on the team as Boa tries to get the high ground, and Rally is committed. Ooh.
Oh, what a stun there from Hippie. Going in, does end up falling, but that stun basically put Goatmen in control of that entire engagement.
Oh, that was disgusting from Hippie. I didn't. Goatmen We'll have EMP.
How do you spell that wrong, Hippie?
Hippie is a producer. Let him be. Goatmen will have at least that EMP, and I think that might be a good answer. But Boa, oh no, there we go. Kill.
That big EMP out lands on to 3. Biscuit and Seeker somehow living there as Alucard goes in, has the Dragon Blade ready to go, but that health pack is hacked again. Excellent job there by Verity. You know, I didn't expect it to do well, just like I didn't expect the Sim to do well, but here we are, I guess.
Nanoblade's still available, but I think if you have an orbital ray, that should at least give you some time, and maybe the bomb layered on top of it. So already they're just gonna go in first, looking for this backline, and if you can, that's a Nanoblade out. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing here. I mean, Alucard's gonna have to try and find something with this Dragon Blade.
Oh.
Taken Wallet finds one of their own there as well. Taken Wallet has the better one, so now there is a very, very doable win condition here for Goatmen to hand Boa their first loss of the season. They don't even need to get it around the final corner here on B.
Nope, they do not. What they do need to get through is that choke point, that first choke point of Eichenwald, which is definitely doable. And a lot of it is going to be understanding what the defense composition Boa is going to run out with on the first go and make your necessary swaps right away. You don't really have to stick with the comp once you unlock first and go to second, but you definitely need a composition to deny Boa's defense. But we already see where until the cart ended up just at the bridge.
Okay. Sure.
So not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I guess it just went backward. You know, sometimes I forgore.
I mean, let's be fair. Like, Goatmen managed to get that cart rolling back when really in a crazy pull from Verity to like high noon on the bridge and then with potentially getting whip shot off the map by a brig, right? Like, did not happen, but it opened up so many because Andrew just fell from the high noon. So Goatmen might be trying to get a pick with this Widowmaker. I doubt it, just from where Taken Wallet is currently positioned in this oh. What sneaky play are we doing here?
Okay. Ooh, yeah, a bit of a body shot there from Taken Wallet. And Hunter was expecting the Diva, going to be very dismayed to see the Zarya here. The Zarya and the Sim for that matter. Know where Hunter's at. Gonna TP over to the left side. Gotta play it a little bit safe here. Gets the bubble in there from Bag Chaser. They're gonna grab one tick. Gonna find not quite a pick there on Alucard, unfortunately. Gonna find the second pick. They're gonna get 99.3%. Alucard falls. Numbers in the favor of this Boa squad right now. Well, it's a 2 versus 2 now. Andrew shooting from behind and they cap. How do they cap, Thor?
Well, what happened there was Seacarrot died at some point and was the only one on point while Hunter Tane was in the air. So it capped while Hunter Tane was in the air. And it was at 99.3%. So that was just a quick, you get off the point. It's pretty much over. Goatmen still sticking with what they at least ran with for their tank and deep and support line, but Verity back on this Sombra really just to deny the value of the health packs, and I think that's a good play. But Woa already have taken the high ground, so they're just trying to dislodge them from poking from all across the sides.
Somehow, unfortunately, Okami does not escape that Carnage Axe. Verity trying to live there, able to escape in that invisibility. Now going to throw that hack on to Hunter. Virus also invested. There's a bit of a fight there going on that Mega Health Pack that is actually hacked already. Very, very diligent about that. No picks here in this engagement just yet. They see the vulnerable player, and what do I say, Thor? It's always the map geometry.
It's the map geometry that fucks us over. I just take it Wallet with a Genji Blade, only one with ultimate. That fight just cleans it up just well. Andrew split in a corner away from team. If you're playing something what Boa is playing, right? If you want to play bunker, unfortunately with a BAP, like you really have to play a bunkier tank, and this composition really isn't just working. Like honestly, if you really want to throw for a loop, go play fucking Moira.
Alright, here we go. Taking Wallet, decapitated here. Hack out on a Secret. The Virus going to clean that up. This objective moving very, very close, separated by only 8 meters. Numbers advantage in here from the Goatmen. Bag Chaser, though, once again, kind of being a one-man army going in on Alucard. Able to take down the Genji. Now Hunter Tane needs to find something massive with this Rampage. Gonna invest it here. They need to get back on the point, but Hunter cannot. Twice in a round, they just get off the objective, and now Goatmen have handed Boa their first loss of the season. Absolute scenes here in the C-League.
Honestly, this is the type of storytelling we need in the C-League, right? Boa finally tossed out of their #1 seed, and honestly, what even makes this crazier is because Goatmen won this match. It's a 4-1. They both had the same map differential, but Goatmen have the second spot because they won this match. That's how impactful this match is for these two teams, and including for Umfi University, who had to wait on the sidelines to see what was going to happen. So now Boa has to climb their way back up into, a better spot. And just looking at the matches they now have to face, I personally think it's doable for them. I have yet to see what Umfi has to go through, because maybe Umfi has a harder schedule and that might change things around.
Yeah, I'm currently trying to look at the schedules right now. Umfi goes up against the Bear.
Umfi should have.
They should probably win that game. You know who their other matchup is?
Oh no.
Cernunos.
Okay, sorry. This matchup between Goatman and Boa just pretty much gave Umfi a comfortable spot. Like literally the only way Umfi is going to not 2-0 these two other teams is if something weird happens. Like no offense to the Bear and Cernunos, but the numbers say something.
Yeah, I can't help but agree as we get a look at our standings. Right now, we just saw the remaining schedules for both of these teams, but I'll go over it real quick. Goatmen versus Log Racers coming up next week. And then they play Terrapin as well. That could be a decent game. Goatmen versus Terrapin. They probably should have the edge on Log Racers, though. So we'll have to see about that. And then for our new #3 seed, they go up against Noctis and the Bears, which they should have the edge in. But unfortunately, with this loss, like you said, Umfi, their destiny is well within their own hands at this point. I mean, the C League is I think even with 2 matches remaining this season is probably getting pretty close to seeing what that playoff picture is going to look like, as Taken Wallet going to grab the MVP here of this matchup between Goatmen and Boa. I mean, they were him and Bag Chaser were absolutely menacing on the duo this match, Thor, and I mean, I really couldn't have asked more of them.
Yep. They committed the highway robbery along with their other teammates. That is what I am calling this matchup. It was a highway robbery on Boa, and it was a successful one at that. But MVP was Taken Wallet, and I guess we can go on a short break before we deal with match #2 that is going to be happening on the B stream between Blind Music Society and Bluff Creek Bigmode. So we're going back up to the B leagues.
So we're going to cut to a short break here. When we come back, we will have that B League matchup between two 2-2 rosters in the B League. keep an eye out for that. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
It's been a while since we last spoke. You broke my heart and left me hanging. Hey, how you've been? It's been a while. I see you go to new clothes on and changed your hairstyle. You look good and girl, but why do I still hurt when I see your feet? Hurt when someone mentions your name. Hurt when I pass by your old place. It's been a year, a lot has changed since then. I made new friends, I got a new pet. You wouldn't believe it. I've been on and on, but why do I still hurt when I'm driving and I'm lost again? Hurt when I'm sick and you're not here. Hurt when you seem like you're just fine without me. Oh, I'm not trying to get you back. Oh, I know we're better when we're not together. Sometimes I think of all the hurt when I see your feet. Hurt when someone mentions your name. Hurt when I pass by your old place. Hurt when I'm driving and I'm lost again. Hurt when I'm sick and you're not here. Hurt when you seem like you're just fine without me. I know I should leave, 'cause you're driving me mad. You burn like a fire. I'm so goddamn naive. I keep coming back, 'cause you're taking me higher. Higher than I've ever been before. Then you let me down again, close the door. I know I should leave, 'cause you're driving me mad. You burn like a fire.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As mentioned before the break, we are headed up to the B League, where we see two teams that actually do start with BL. Blind Music Society versus Bluff Creek Bigmode. Very similar seasons thus far throughout the first 4 games. Win 1 or lose 1, win 2, lose 1, both 2-2. Headed into this, somebody will take a definitive lead here. I believe the map differential is actually a little bit better for Blind Music Society. As we get a, okay, I guess I'm just a nut job. Okay, sure. I'm insane, Thor. I might be stupid, but it's a 3 and 4 seed. This should be a close game.
Yes, it should be a close game for these two teams, and if I am Bluff Creek Bigmode. I would like to win this as much as possible, considering I have to face off Mothmania, who is the number 1 seed at the very end of this whole season.
Yep. So, I mean, this one is also going to have a lot of implications, right? It's not exactly, a team fighting for the number 1 seed at the moment, but these are still, teams that are relatively high up in the standings, at the 4 or the 3 seed. So this does matter, right? This is going to help you secure secure your spot in the playoffs to begin with, but get an even better matchup heading in there as well. So really looking forward to seeing this. To be honest with you, I recognize a couple of the names here, but nothing like insane, which you probably do.
I know way too many of these names in these two teams, so let's go rolling into their rosters. Blind Music Society first. We do have Chisakina, Tilted Waffle, and Joshen running that DPS line. Joshen, veteran name in the BPL scene, right? And you have your tank as Yukino, and the backline of Mani Potato Nagisa is just... This is a backline that... You've seen them in Tranquility, you've seen them in BPL, they're just everywhere, so they have pretty much all the experience of being in the backline and trying to survive whatever is being tossed at them. On the other side...
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all good, all good. I'm ready to get it rolling. Bluff Creek Bigmode on the other side. We got PC Nirik and Water on that DPS line. Donk, Tally in the tank line. Sandy, Oddeye, Irrelevant in that back line. I can't really speak to the quality of either of these teams. I haven't really gotten to see either of them play too much, but what I do know is what the numbers show, right? These two teams, very, very close. I mean, literally only separated by one map right now, right? And that's because, Bluff Creek Bigmode won one more map in week number 1. So that is what is putting them ahead in the standings right now. So Blind Music Society, they have an opportunity to make a jump, or Bluff Creek Bigmode on the other side, they've got their chance here to solidify themselves in the top 3, move to 3 and 2, stay comfortable. But no matter what happens, I expect this to be just as close as our last one.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Just looking at the different players, but already we know what our map pool is for this side of the B groups. They have Rialto, Busan, and Hollywood. They are lucky enough not to have what I call the dreaded A League pool that has Numbani in it.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're going to start out this series on the same map as we started out the last one in, even though it was a C League here, as we get a look at our bands. Blind Music Society banning out the Hazard here early. Probably a target ban. We did see, I believe it was Tally who was, favoring that Hazard on the front side. And, surprisingly, the first Freya ban I think I've seen all weekend. At least on my matches. So Freya, Hazard, I don't hate them. We saw last match what Rialto can look like with the dive. I think Hazard is still in a great spot right now as far as that goes. Freya is Freya, right? Her mobility, her versatility is all excellent. So not a surprise to see that one banned here on map number 1. But what are your thoughts, Thor?
I think for Rialto, these are pretty safe bans in a way, right? I don't think they're targeting any specific player or play style, but they might just be, hey, Freya is really annoying. Let's try to not deal with it right away in a sight line like Rialto, where there are safe spaces to just kite out from damage, right? It's not the same as, playing Freya in a control map where, even if you try to kite it out one way, you might still get pincered by damage in another.
All right. Rialto here first up. We'll have to see what these teams are going to enjoy here very, very soon. I'm interested, right? I don't know. I don't know that we'll see the exact same stuff, which I kind of figured we wouldn't. Yukino rolling out on the wrecking ball here for the Blind Music Society. Stronger dive. There's no way, right?
I'm here
Right,
for
Thor.
this.
I mean, it's funny.
This is a team. I know Blind Music Society is a team that plays Lifeweaver. That is part of the problem why I saw this lineup and I'm just like, this is gonna be fucking insanity. But already we also see water. Please, are you actually just teasing the Bastion, or are we actually rolling out with it? Because I also know he is someone who will actually roll out on a Bastion if you wanted to. Okay, thank you.
Genji.
Thank you for having some sense of normalcy.
Genji. Alright, we'll have to see if this potato Lifeweaver can do anything here for the Blind Music Society, as water instantly sees the wrecking ball, switches over to the Sombra. Going to be majorly annoying here for Yukino, who is maybe going to want to ban that Sombra later on if they are going to want to play Wrecking Ball.
Already said all right
yeah,
in the chat.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that Wrecking Ball is going to be sticking around for very long.
Nope. You have a Diva.
There's a
and
Baptiste.
What
is Music doing back there?
Mani, what are we doing there, Mani? But that is a really unfortunate play. This allows the card to roll continually in favor of Bluff Creek Bigmode. I'm just gonna call this team Bluff at this point. Bluffing it out and just pushing everyone else from Blind Music Society, who are just getting melted down left and right. This is looking like a slaughter right now, just a really slow one.
Yeah. The card hasn't stopped for Bluff Creek since the map started, really. Finally going to slow down a little bit here at the end, and now Deadeye in. It's going to find one. They popped the Deadeye into the Immortality field. It finds a couple there, does Lunar, and that is exactly what you want to see from your Cassidy. Already back up to 25%, by the way.
Lunar's just... Lunar could be crazy on...
Maybe.
You know, on the DPS. Could be, yeah, just crazy enough. I think the great thing about having hit scan DPS,
Dude.
like, ooh.
Dude,
Yep, Ursa.
Yukino is getting so low so quickly, it's ridiculous.
I mean, that's the sheer power of the damage from a Cassidy. The sleep's not gonna really stop them, but it allows for more damage to go into Yukino. But there is a tree in the wind already, so they could at least push this if they're blind.
There's the Nano Annihilation. That Tree of Life does not assist with Joshin in any particular way. Another Nemesis form ready to go here for Tally. Music Addicts will not live through this virus, unfortunately. And I mean, that's just another dominant fight win here from Bluff Creek.
I think if you're Blind Music, I think you need to reconfigure how you're playing this engagement. But EMP committed.
Yeah, even a little bit early there is when Music Addicts does find one through the amplification matrix. Point will roll through. Bluff Creek Bigmode has already got 5 minutes in this time bank on Objective C. So, yeah, they might be rolling right now.
That's not even a mic. They have at least high noon yet again from Lunar, who is going to at least try to force out the spin of the Orisa, but Yukino does have Terra Surge, so I wouldn't be surprised if they push in with it along with maybe the high noon of Josh and to at least stabilize.
Kali needs to live there. Yukino popping that Terra Surge, Lunar able to roll out of it, but nobody else will be able to escape the adverse effects. Water does drop Tilted Waffle, but Potato's there to clean it up, so finally Blind Music Society are going to be able to find their opportunity to take a breath, because, you know, they really haven't been able to.
Yeah, I think at the tempo at which Bluff Creek Bigmode wants to play, the Lifeweaver really just wasn't the play for them at that moment. Blind Music Society with 1.5 ultimates, at least it's something they can push in with, especially this high noon that Josh commits.
Spear will not connect onto Lunar, but Yukino will be dropped there. The shield to protect their Cassidy. There's someone back there. It's Manny again.
This is part of this is like heroic plays from the support line and just really capitalizing on flanks. And just not getting value, sadly.
Well, there's a Nano Annihilation, and Tally just walks over and pummels 2 shots into that Sojourn. Not a chance in the world for Blind Music Society to come back in here. I mean, that was a slaughter. Yeah, I mean, you said it right at the beginning. They absolutely ripped Blind Music Society apart.
Like, they weren't bluffing, and like the amount of damage and sheer tempo that they are playing.
Look at
like looking at the stats, like I don't know how else to explain this. Like it's Tally's alive for like only died once. Like same for Odd Eye. Like it's great to see that your backline is like one of your backlines surviving along with your tank, and it's just pressing the W along with your DPS. And here's Water with like his signature Torbjorn gameplay back at it again. So I think for Blind Music Society, as much as they are kind of known for like weaving in the Life Weaver in some of their compositions, I think this is one of the times where it's not going to work as well, and playing something a bit more slightly conventional might change the tempo.
We'll have to see. We got a few seconds before this attack for Blind Music Society starts out, but they do need to change something. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to point out exactly what they need to change because they kind of just got bowled over so quickly. But here we go. We'll see if they're going to have any of that same fire that Bluff Creek Bigmode had on their attack. Yukino facing down at Tally, finds the spear but gets antied in the process. Anti doesn't take too long to get cleared up, so not too worried about it. But has to get back around the corner as Tally gets aggro. Joshin with that teleporter into the backline didn't find a whole lot there. As, I mean, Lunar just continues to just pepper in these shots constantly. Finally dropped there by Music Addict. Tilted Waffle very low on the high ground, and so is Tally. Tilted Waffle goes down, but it will be Blind Music Society going to be able to break out of this defensive hold, as unfortunately for Odd Eye, that's a Gold Orisa. You can't sleep those.
You could sleep a Golden Orisa. I have that in some of my dreams. Not really great. Blind Music Society, though, with these compositional swaps, are starting to roll this cart. I don't think Bluff Creek can contest, and there you go. It is unlocked cleanly. No other fight. They do want this high ground, so Tally is trying to force out Yukino from here.
Alright, well, Yukino is excessively low, and what?
That's a TP high noon. That's a TP high noon. You can't tell me otherwise. That's a TP high noon. That's also a boo. No, that's just Tally playing on map. I think that was a TP high noon. I wish I had a replay. That had to be a TP high noon, because nowhere was
get on that. I don't care if you're doing everything right now. I need you to get on that.
Blind Music Society with that heroic play from Tilted Waffle to get what was 3 with a high noon. Manages to help this team roll the cart with 3 ultimates, make it 4 soon on the clock. I get Manny, I'm so sorry. I'm so done.
We need to get a Tally counter going. As Lunar finds out Tilted Waffle there to the fence, able to take advantage of poor positioning as Water finds a couple more. Yukino gonna go for a swim with the Gondoliers.
But not quick enough so that Tally actually still gets credit for that kill. Bluff Creek Bigmode have 5 ultimates, 4 for Blind Music Society. I am assuming this is just going to be chaos in the next few seconds, because there are a bunch of combination of ultimates you can do. But one way or another, I'm pretty sure Wall is going to be committed when Lunar decides to high noon.
Alright, well, Yukino anteed up here early as the Nano Boost comes in on to Tally from Odd Eye. Water extremely low. TP comes in We're going to see the Terra Surge. I'm kind of surprised that we haven't seen Tally use Annihilation as the Deadeye from Lunar going to take care of Yukino eventually. I mean, it's expensive here for the side of Bluff Creek Bigmode. Tally needs healing sleep out onto Tilted Waffle, so denies the Deadeye there. But in the end, Blind Music Society will able to break the line. And they're just going to try and stuff this for Blind Creek Bigmode. Try and, get as much time off the clock as they can.
And they managed to do so. 4 minutes and 20 for Blind Music Society to cap this remainder. If they can do it in a minute, that is great. That is why they are pushing further towards the spawn, trying to get Tally to slow things down, and that's exactly how it was written. Blind Music Society, no other ultimates to work with. If you are Bluff Creek Bigmode switching to a Junkrat, okay, thank you, Water. I don't think Junkrat was the play into that. Venture, a decent play, because you get to move the map out of the lamp, force people into corners, and that is great. But you have no other ultimates to work with. You're hoping to get a pick with this Venture.
Well, Water getting absolutely active. Now going in after Tilted Waffle, drilled right through there. Looking toward that Venture. Anti-out as well as the boosted healing onto Tally. The Sim turrets through the teleporter there. Good for it. So is anyone gonna play defense, Thor? Or are we gonna have a defensive play ever? Like, they finish with the exact same time. Like,
Oh my god!
who attacked? Who attacked now? I don't think I've ever seen two teams finish with the exact same time bank before.
You know, this is probably the reason why they are both at the same standing also of like 2-2 right now in their respective group. They are just mirrors of each other one way or another. And I mean, even looking at the stats, they're pretty much even across the board. Lunar doing a lot of work for Bluff Creek though. So I have nothing else to say to this other than this is insanity.
I don't know either, man. Like, how far are we gonna be? How far are we gonna be willing to take this, right?
No, please, please.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
9 to 8 on Rialto here in map 1.
No, my gosh, please don't. I'm gonna curse out these players if they make me go for.
Maybe if you stop cursing them, like.
I don't know. They should go curse themselves.
All right, well, here we go. Bluff Creek coming up again on the attack. Some nice shots there onto Tilted Waffle. Unfortunately, not quite able to find the last one needed. I mean, Luna's already 40% to Deadeye. As Water is going to go over to a Pharah here in this fight. Bit of a battle of bumpers here on the objective as Yuki tries to get something found. We'll be able to find that spear on it to Tally, but Lunar has already found their opposite number. Great job here from Water to come in and help to clean up these kills as the Pharaoh starts to pay dividends.
From that swap, Water is now at 45% to the barrage. Lunar doing so much of the work for Bluff Creek is at 77. So we're at least expecting this High Noon to be built in the next fight. Along with that, I attempt at the turret.
Whoa,
But no more sim. Bye bye.
Whoa, God. So the answer is actually maybe no. Neither of these teams wants to play defense. Because from what we're seeing two offensive juggernauts just blowing through each other. Not really any opposition to be found.
Yep. Ultimates. Bluff Creek will have 3, maybe 4 once this next engagement happens. I would like to see them not burn through all of them in this next fight. This was a good one to start with.
Well. Here's Deadeye from Lunar. So, Bluff Creek Bigmode used 3 ultimates there. So, hey, keep an eye out for the positives here, Blind Music.
Yeah, you're walking into this with at least 2 ultimates. There's no more high noon. You're probably saving, hopefully, your wall if you build it to a Farah barrage. I will not be surprised if Tilted Waffle decides to solo noon a barrage.
Okay, well, there's the Deadeye. So this rocket barrage could come in, but will go down as a very poor one, unfortunately. But you only need to get lucky once if you're on the defense here in overtime. They get that job done. They have a line to hit and 2 minutes to hit it. We'll have to see.
I'm kind of glad that Bluff Creek decided to use all 3 ults in that one fight just for my mental sanity, that I don't have to cast any more of this map and we can move on with our lives. It's looking
look on the bright side. The weekend's almost over, Thor. So
no, it's a heat wave where I am tomorrow. I don't want to deal with that.
just stay inside. Smile.
I don't want to go to work.
Well, don't.
I cry. I need money. Anyways, Blind Music Society, Bluff Creek Bigmode. What are we cooking this time? We saw this not work for Blind Music Society. What is the plan with this? Are we trying to get Lunar into weird spots with this petal to rearrange things to bail out
Wait,
water?
this is Odd-Eye. This is Odd-Eye. This isn't Potato.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm saying, Bluff Creek Bigmode, what are we doing?
I'm over. I'm done. I'm retiring. Okay,
Farah, that's it.
RV Farah. Well, yeah, we'll see. This is like 2021, like in the Overwatch League, where had the hero bans. Farah was good at some point, and unfortunately, Lunar is just a little bit better. Instantly taking down 1. Water now has free reign to shoot at these stragglers, as Lunar has taken care of the hard part.
Lunar doing a lot of the work and is trying to now being pressured out by this Ursa, realizing that the really big problem that Blind Music Society is having is Lunar is just landing shots, and at the same time, Water is just cleaning it up when Lunar really cannot chase the damage as easily. 1 minute left of the clock. Blind Music Society has nothing. Bluff Creek Bigmode will have that high noon again because Lunar is just doing work.
Alright, headed back in here. Quickly, a minute now. 50 seconds on the clock. Map geometry. Again. Tilted Waffle's annoyed, I'm sure. Trying to find a couple of shots here on the Lunar, but playing it safe around that. How does that dynamite land onto Sandy? Now the Deadeye in from Lunar. Should not find a target, but okay. Okay, very, very lucky there. Joshin does not get caught by the Deadeye, pulled in by the nade of, okay, nice little life grip, keeping Lunar alive, but the Joshin spam able to help take them down. 15 seconds on the clock, and Blind Music Society will be able to cap out this objective, probably.
Yep, and they should be... Let's watch our heads. Blind Music Society, though, will have 2.5 ultimates to push through this remaining part. Bluff Creek Bigmode will have 3. So I think if I am Bluff Creek Bigmode, let's not stack these all at the same time. That would be great, because that kind of fucked you over the last time.
Alright, well, here's the Terra Surgeon from Yukino Life Grip to pull the Ramatra out of it. Now Tree of Life. You get on the point, okay. Annihilation in. Immortality Field invested. Bob down. Yeesh. Yeesh. Rocket Barrage from Joshin. Are Blind Music Society gonna bullshit their way to a win here?
Yeah. This is why you don't play the Life Weaver. As much as the tree got value, saved your Ramatra, there really isn't any other utility that could provide, and Blind Music Society just learned it earlier in their first first round of doing this, and Bluff Creek Bigmode tried to bluff their way and say, hey, we could do it better, and just were called out on it. That was it. That's how it felt like.
Lunar tried everything for y'all, man.
I see, it was a TP high noon. See,
yeah.
That was great.
See, yeah, Nock didn't do his job, so he had to rely on play the game to do it for him. Oh man, Thor. This is 3 days in a row Nock has put me on a game where it looks like I'm watching a ranked game.
I thought C League would be where the chaos is. Apparently, this is.
No, C League was fun.
C League was fun. Like,
Put them up, Nock. Put your fists up. Come on. Right there. Your chin is gone. God, I hate you.
Well, Bluff Creek. Well, if there's one thing Bluff Creek Bigmode has on their side for this next map of Busan, it is the fact that they can ban. First, yeah. I said what I said. That's it.
Yeah, they can do that.
I'm
God knows what they're gonna do. I don't know. I can't even begin to guess. Okay. Busan. What happens on Busan? We liked Rush on Busan. Busan's cool with Rush, I think.
Busan's cool with
Ramatra,
so many things.
I think we're probably gonna see Ramatra. By one of these teams. At this point, I don't know from who.
I'm seeing it's either a Ramatra or an Orisa, unless one of them gets banned.
I think that's what we're going to see is Orisa versus Ramatra. We're getting ahead into the bans here. Orisa is actually banned, so I'll eat my words on that one.
As apparently a Ramatra fight is what's going to end up happening. Either that or if Bigmode wants to be ballsy, decide to roll out with a Reinhardt, I will not be surprised anymore. This game feels like a fever dream.
Knock. You don't know what I'm gonna do to you. Oh my god. Okay. Get out of here, man.
How you doing?
Get out of here.
You having a good time?
No. I hate you. Get out of my VC, man.
Okay, fine. I'll go back to bands. Bye.
Yeah, go back to bans. I would like to know what Blind Music Society wants to ban, because clearly the blind ones were Bluff Creek by not realizing the Lifeweaver didn't work. And oh, guess what happened? We have a Lucio ban. No news.
Sure.
We're playing, I don't know.
Juno Brig.
In an ideal, reasonable world, it is Juno Brig, right? Or weird Juno Kiri, which like some teams have opted to play. But I will not be surprised if someone decides to try pulling out the Lifeweaver again.
Screw it. Let's pull out a Mercy, right? Like, Mercy.
Why not?
No, let's make it ranked. Let's play Mercy Lifeweaver. Okay. We got Mercy Lifeweaver. Mercy Lifeweaver. Reinhardt. Hanzo Junkrat. Versus Doomfist.
Mercy
Sim Sombra. Zen Moira. That's my prediction.
Teams, make it happen. So
get on it. Come on.
Get on it. Get on it for us. We're at the point of nothing is making sense. That is what it is. That is what it is. Because as much as I could theory craft what normally happens on Busan, as you know, the usual color caster here, these teams have decided to throw it out of the window on the first map, so I'm not even going to theory craft anymore at this rate. I'm just going to say someone's going to
I'm just going to complain, and you're going to like it.
They're just going to roll out a Lifeweaver at this point, and I'm just going to be like, it is what it is.
All right, man. Here we go. Busan. Damn, Metcalf's getting jiggy with it.
Oh my god.
Alright, Knock. Start the lobby up, man. Come on. Let's go.
Unless the players are bothering you. Apparently we have swaps. Donk is coming in for Tally, and then Irrelevant is coming in for Odd Eye on the side of Bluff Creek Bigmode.
Sure.
That's all I remember,
Whatever you say.
because those are the players on those teams. That's all I can say.
No, I believe you. Yeah, Bidonk for Tally. Odd Eye for Irrelevant. That's happening for sure. We're still waiting for R from the team, I guess. Teams.
yeah. Also, I am disappointed in Water for not giving me a Torbjorn hammer kill. Like, you play Torbjorn and you're not gonna give me a hammer kill. That's so disappointing. Like, you played it for a bit. Just give me one.
Yeah. What she said. Okay, here we go. Basan downtown. I've kind of gone. Yes. Send that message. Press enter right now.
Press enter. Press enter.
Thank you, Plank.
Thank you.
Thank you, Plank Water.
Oh my gosh. Oh
Overwatch.
my gosh. I love it. There is a Reinhardt already. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Are you surprised? It's Bidonk.
I'm not
Like-
surprised. That's why I was just like, this is... They're gonna roll out with something weird. One if it's gonna be a Reinhardt. If it's still Water on a Bastion, that's also gonna be hella funny. Hella funny if he actually gets kills with it also in the same process.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Knock on wood sucks. There you go, Lunar. There you go, Lunar. Okay. Bluff Creek Bigmode, instant heading over to the objective. You can... Blind Music Society is like, oh, where are they? They're over there.
Blind.
So-
Blind. Living up to
Alright,
the
here we go. Yukino on the hazard. We will see how that's going to work out for them. Turret down from Water, but Joshin is dead. So is Tilted Waffle. They're all kind of eating right now. As Bluff Creek Bigmode, of course, dominate the first fight, but someone was going to dominate it, just didn't know who.
I mean... Yeah, that's a swap. Yeah, those are swaps. Those are reasonable swaps. I mean, try to for Reinhardt. Give your Ram a bit more sustain, as Donk is already dropping immensely low and is being melted by punches.
Alright, here we go. Yep, Yukino finds the first pick here. Bidonk below 200 HP. Trying to spam down this Reinhardt. That shield will go away very, very shortly. They do find one from Water, but that will not be enough without Bidonk in this fight. The Blind Music Society will take over at 35.
Yep. The name of the game, make some swaps, and force the Reinhardt player to swap to a Ramatra mirror. Lunar definitely was still doing work, now has High Noon yet again. We have mirrored compositions, except for that Torbjorn versus Mei, and I personally think Water and Torbjorn might just be better. I feel like he would end my Mei games.
Oh, here's Lunar, doing things that nobody should be able to do. Yukino trying to find these picks in the front line, but just, yeah, man. You know what? You know what? Hell yeah. You know what? Hell yeah. Shoot at the ground, Yuki. That works too. Yuki goes down. Blind Music will not quite be able to take the lead before Bluff Creek Bigmode comes back with the flip.
Hey, if you're Blind Music Society, you at least have 3 ultimates to work with in this next push. Bluff Creek only have 2. At least one of them is a space denial with that molten core, so that might be a go signal of at least Bluff Creek to push in if necessary.
Alright, well, we see the orbital race down until... Is anybody ever going to be able to walk out of the LOS of a Deadeye? Like it can't be that difficult, right?
It's the Purple Heart Beam. It's there to help the Cassidy High Noon. If you're Bluff Creek Bigmode, though, that's just, well, it is what it is. We are at least expecting what might be a Annihilation to be Annihilation Mirror for this next fight, but might be in the favor of Blind Music Society because they do have another ultimate to work with, but that's an early window.
But Lunar has taken down Bidonk, or rather, Joshin, rather. Bidonk is going to pop the Annihilation here, who's very, very low. But that should be a win for Bidonk. Thor...
No one can defend.
That's what I was that's exactly what I was about to say! Defense is terrible! They're all made of paper!
Everyone else in the Balsa groups, okay? You go into Bluff Creek Bigmode first or Blind Music Society in any of your future matches. They cannot defend. They are an attack-only team. Make do what you want with it. Window is popped in front of a turret and lap 2 gets nothing, but High Noon's still available and ooh.
Music Addict's dead here early, this Deadeye. Don't jump. Don't do it. Okay. Yukino does go down, so it does look like the defense will hold finally for once, but I guess it kind of has to at some point, right? Like surely at some point someone defends something.
Is it really a defense if you were zoned out by it? I feel like there wasn't even an attempt to scuffle.
Hey, hey, Yukino was trying to get to the point when he died, so...
Yeah.
Listen, I will give it to them. I don't want to give them much, but I'll give that to them.
We're taking money stolen by Taken Wallet and giving it to Blind Music Society, right? Just donations to the blind. So... we are in this point of Busan. I cannot remember for the life of me what the name is right now because my brain cells have just been thrown out of the window, but Blind Music Society running with a Symmetra this time around.
Alright, well, here we go. Lunar's dead. Why wouldn't he be? Well, that's a lot of damage going for Bluff Creek. As Bidonk tries to spam through the window, Yukino goes in. The Ravenous Vortex is going to slow down the escape here, so the objective unlocks, and yeah, Tilted Waffle meets the same fate. Immortality Field forced out. Potato should fall here, but should doesn't mean will in the world such as these. Finally, they do track down Potato. There, Yukino has to pop the Nemesis form to try to stay alive. 6% now for Blind Music Society. But Bluff Creek Bigmode, yeah, will be able to come in here and get the fight, win. And you know what, Thor? I'm almost certain it's because Blind Music Society capped first. So technically, they were defending the objective.
I agree. They were just defending a different part of the map to prevent any further, scuffles on the point. Unfortunately, they did not win the said fight, but they did put up some level of defense. Water this time is the one leading in ultimate compared to Lunar, so the Torbjorn doing lots of work for them, but that's a TP aggro by Joshin, I think. Who TP? The Cass! Never mind!
Yep. Well, here we go. Immortality Field invested here. Annihilation thrown in as well by... Bidonk goes down, eviscerated in mere seconds, and they were defending, Thor. They were defending.
They were defending. There was a fight put up. Okay, so let's give them credit.
I'm not giving anybody credit for anything. I refuse.
You refuse. Well, you what these teams aren't going to refuse using probably half of their ults, maybe 4, maybe 5, or everything in the kitchen sink in this next engagement, because the only one who used ult in that previous fight was Bidonk.
Well, there's... I'm gonna throw my glasses across the room. I'm gonna throw my glasses across my living room. Hey, at least you were right about something, right? At least one of us is right about something. That's every ultimate used in the goddamn lobby.
Please, someone get Josh in, finally. Get the BAP, please. You guys are still up and healing. You have numbers. Get the BAP. The back?
Potato needs to die. Surely Potato dies. Surely
surely
Potato dies. There's a turret behind
Potato
them.
has window.
There's a turret behind them.
Thank you.
They have a wrecking ball now for Blind Music Society.
Don't die to the turrets.
Well, the turrets are gone now, so that's good, I guess. Yukino's dead, so that's good.
I'm so done. I'm so done. Let's look at the ultimate status now. Because of how long that fight also took, some people have ultimates again. Potato didn't use their window, so that's a great job on them. So Blind Music Society has something for this next fight. Bluff Creek Bigmode, though, will have the High Noon, Annihilation, and potentially Water back at it again with a Molten.
Alright, well, here we go. 70% Deadeye not gonna find... what? Alright, well, here is the welcome mat set out. Thor,
I'm so done. No, why do we peak a High Noon? These teams just want to get shot in the head. This is what I'm seeing. Donk has Annihilation, should be using this in the last set of fights, popping out Lamp first, and I think it should be around now. Yes, it is.
Alright, here we go. Deadeye in from Tilted Waffle. See if someone dies to that. A lot of damage by Donk does go down to that. There is a trade Yukino for Donk. The turret is in there from Water now. Finding a little bit of damage here from Tilted Waffle, a little bit of poke, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And now Lunar is in poor position to fight back there. For the second time in the last couple of maps, Bluff Creek Bigmode, they're just gonna choke away what should have been a pretty easy win for them, all because they were defending.
Yeah. But if you're Blind Music Society, you'll take that round win because this means you have a chance to just close out the match in a 2-0 fashion should you win Mecha Base.
Whoever caps this point first is going to lose the map.
Honestly?
That's my prediction.
I low-key think if you are one of these teams and you see that your point is at like 80%, just give it to the enemy team. Assuming the enemy team is at like 40% or 50% of like point capture. Why? So that you can just attack. But apparently we're all just better at attacking than defending the point.
Well, here we go. Proper rush on the high ground now for Blind Music Society. Obviously they can't play Lucio, so Juno will have to work. Both Immortality Fields invested here. Potato will lose theirs first. Nemesis form just about ready to go once again for Donk here, who will throw it in. Trying to pierce through these shields. The Water is the first casualty. So congratulations on the map win, Bluff Creek Bigmode!
God. Yeah, because Blind Music Society and all that chaos capped the point, but Lunar is still alive, trying to get this very annoying Juno up in the air. Managed to get maybe this May. Donk is unable to block it. Yeah. Let's land shots. Let's land shots. Woohoo! Oh my god.
Yep, another couple of shots. Josh and dead. So is Yukino. So yeah, 30% here. Bluff Creek Bigmode will take over. Incroyable.
Hey, let's look at the ultimates. Bluff Creek Bigmode with 4 for this next fight. Blind Music Society should have 4 also, maybe 5. Once again, it is going to be an ult dump. This is going to be a back and forth yet again.
Alright, well, Nemesis form invested by both. Now Annihilation in. Yeah, that's a beautiful Blizzard, I guess. Bidong not even going to have an opportunity to answer that. Now Deadeye in from Lunar. Won't find anything. I can say that with confidence this time because they're shooting their gun again. So the objective will be flipped back by Blind Music Society.
We are committing.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Playing in the remainder of the orbital, my Juno dropped. Hopefully cap the point, and I think these are two teams where, you know, if the enemy team caps the point with only 2 or 3 players still up, they're going to push in. Because bam, speed, bam, aggression, we do not defend. Oh my gosh. That's red.
Cool. Yeah. Yep. Okay, here we go. Yukino and Potato having to play it safe here. Bidonk kind of in a poor spot. That Immortality Field invested already. Has to put up the hands to stay in it. This fight throws up the shield as well. Deadeye in from Lunar. Nice wall though. Lunar goes down now. Deadeye from Tilted Waffle, and Tilted Waffle is kind of ripping people to shreds right now. So will be Blind Music Society taking back over here. And hey, I'm just saying, this is exactly the scenario that you said. Yeah.
I called it. This is like, okay, Bluff Creek Bigmode, let's go in with Annihilation. The only thing Blind Music Society has is going to be Window, and if Joshan can build it quickly enough, it's going to be Blizzard. You are slightly on a better advantage if you just push past the map window, right? Just out-tempo them, please. Just do things.
Alright, well, here we go. Oh, like what am I even supposed to say about that? They're just all dead.
No, this is fine. This is fine, right? We said there's one more chance. There's one more chance to attack. There's no window. No, ultimates are kind of doo-doo. Blind Music Society has 2 ultimates for this next fight. It's a Blizzard and an Annihilation, which is kind of problematic if you're Bluff Creek Bigmode. And they may hold early.
Yeah, Irrelevant is frozen up, and okay.
My narrative.
Hey, listen. I'm happy to be wrong. Hey,
I'm happy to be wrong too.
The curse is gone. The curse is gone. Blind Music Society, they get the job done in the end. Sure. You know what? All y'all.
Oh, yeah.
It's all yours, man. GG, guys.
Yep. And that was pretty much what it is. Good job to Blind Music Society for winning that match and putting themselves up to 3rd seed as of, and because they beat Bluff Creek Bigmode in a 2-0 fashion, Birdwatch finds themselves back up in the top half of their groups from, you know, this loss just because of the map differential. So if you're a Birdwatch fan, yay for this Blind Music Society win, right? That is pretty much it.
I gotta say, if I'm being honest with you, yeah, Yukino gets the MVP. If there's one player that I feel bad for here, it's Lunar. Because Lunar was by far the best player in the lobby tonight.
Lunar was doing his darn best to just bail out, you know, Bluff Creek Bigmode, and it just wasn't happening. Like, it just was unfortunate. So here are the updated Balsa standings. Bluff Creek Bigmode now placed on the 5th on the standings. Blind Music Society breaking out of that 2-2 stalemate by moving up to 3rd with a pretty decent map differential, as I would say nothing really you can do to try to catch up to Reprieve and Mothmania, considering who you are facing up next. I personally think what might be interesting to watch is Blind Music Society matching up with Birdwatch next week, because the map differential there is going to matter for them.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like we were talking about before the series started, this match did have a lot in the way of implications, right? I mean, the standings did change with this game. You know, these teams were the 3 and the 4 seed, and now they're the 3 and the 5, right? Blind Music Society jumps up, forces Bluff Creek Bigmode down. How they got there, I think, is irrelevant at this point. But they did it. They got the win. That is really all that. It's really all they needed to do, Thor, I guess. Got a couple more matches here tonight, this week. Camp Halfburger, Marin Mallows on the A stream, and coming up here very, very soon, Red Bandas versus Camp Jump Shot. To be honest with you, Thor, I think I'm excited to go watch some anime.
That is fair. That is fair. I think if you're someone who's interested in this side of the B groups, Red Bandas and Camp Jump Shot, they're both 1 and 3. So this is another situation of one of y'all has to take the L and get a worser standing. That's it.
All right. Well, I think I'm about as fried as I can get here tonight, Thor. Blind Music Society they get the win. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't exactly pretty, or good, or fun to watch. I'm sure it was interesting to watch. It was kind of a smorgasbord to cast, but it's over now. Blind Music Society, they take over the number 3 seed in the Balsa group. So congrats to them, Thor. If you have anything else to say, do you?
Nope, that is pretty much it for this matchup. We're not in the next cast, so have fun.
Yeah.
And good night.
Thank you all for watching. We will see y'all next week, I guess. Thanks, Knock.
I don't know what it means, but there's a smile upon your face, and I see something shimmering in your eyes. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Fear is an imposter. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in. So the days became weeks, it felt just like the night before. You were slowly fading in my mind. When you left, I was so completely gone, but now I'm sure you were some of the best of things to find. Would you follow me to wonders? If you're everything that matters to me, makes me wonder why I can't get over you. When you look at me this way, I find it hard to not give in.
love beyond all means. It breaks the chains and gives strength to the weak. When I am lost, you're there with me. Your grace alone can set me free.
Alrighty, everyone, we are back again on B-Stream now to get into another very interesting map here. We got Red Bandas versus Camp Jump Shot going on today. Very exciting match.
Yeah, I am ready for this, as you know, they both are even. Well, I would say even. Red Bandas has one game up on them. I'm very excited to see Camp Jump Shot, as I have played with them a lot. I've played with them in scrims. I've been on, they've filtered for us. I've been a ringer, so I'm excited to see how they played today.
Yeah, both these teams here, both continuing to vie for a higher placement on this standings. So for those who are new, maybe didn't watch any of the A stream earlier when they were talked about, very quick, playoffs has been locked in the format. The top two of each bracket, so in this case for Balsa, which Red Bandas and Camp Jump Shot are both in, number 1 and number 2 teams will move on no matter what. 2 play-ins, straight to playoffs. No play-ins required. 3, 4, and 5 will start in round number 2 of the play-ins, and 6 and 7 will start in round 1. However, if you are at the bottom of the barrel here, the number 8, you are cut. You are gone. No play-ins for you, no playoffs for you. And so on these teams like Camp Jump Shot and Red Bandas, you're near the bottom. A win here is absolutely necessary so you don't get pushed into that 8th seed.
Yeah, and I mean, you definitely don't want to be the team that has to take the high red first. You don't want to be the first team going to Cancun. I mean, going to this is make or break. It's not like, oh, we can get up to 3rd, maybe we can get up to 4th, have a good space spot. This is like elimination bracket stress. As a team, you have to play together really well. You have to have great coordination. You have to just be better than the other team on the other side of you to just survive.
And if you're either of these teams, it's not like your remaining matches are easy. Red Bandas, you have to play Reprieve, and then you have to play Blind Music Society. And on the same side of Camp Jump Shot, you also have to play Reprieve, but you're also playing Mothmania. This is where you need your win if you're either of these teams, if you're looking for it.
Yeah, especially over on Red Bandas. I mean, you need to win this. You need to have you need to want to sweep with this. You go 2-0, get up positive. The map differential is coming up. I mean, you're facing, top 3 teams.
Alrighty, though. Bringing it over to the rosters here for both Red Bandas and Camp Jump Shot, we can see overall, we've got some new players. We've got some old players. I'm very curious to see, especially loading into our map pool, seeing our bands, what exactly even these games are going to turn out to be as we're starting off with Rialto here.
Yeah, Rialto, I mean, you want to play dive on offense, you want to play poke on defense, but when it comes to bands, you haven't, of course, people probably have watched, there's probably been some scouting on someone watching streams, who knows, right? Maybe they play with them, maybe they scrimmed against them. They should have an idea who plays what and who plays what the best. So going to this, when it comes to target bands, they should know. Ooh, okay.
Already got some bands out here. Camp Jump Shot looking to get rid of that Ana. While on the side of Red Bandas, we're getting rid of the Freya already. I can see, Freya, honestly, haven't seen a ton of her across this set. We've seen a little bit of it earlier in some of the matches, but not a lot. So Red Bandas, they know what they don't like, and they're immediately gunning that Freya out.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think Camp Jump Shot has the better band here. Ana is such a threat, can play so far back on defense there. You have Nade. If you get the right perk, the bouncing Nade, that can be insane. The sleep perk's also insane. I mean, Ana itself, you have Nano, Self Nano. She's just so volatile and so expendable that anything could go wrong, and Ana could save the whole team on their back. So Red Bandas, Freya, I get it, but I think Ana pick band is definitely going to be the way to go.
Yeah, I definitely think both bands are good here. I mean, this is a match to really decide who can still hang with the middle of the pack. And the other side of the coin is, if you drop down, there's a non-zero chance you can hit 8. This is do or die time for these rosters, and you got to lock in. if you're either team. You cannot take this loss here.
Yeah. I mean, going to this, elimination thing, you just got to get away with the win here. You want to have at least some cushioning going to these last 2 weeks.
It's going to be really tough here. It looks like it's going to be a second before we head up into that Rialto game. But as we can see here, as it's starting to launch out, I'm very curious to see what both teams will go for it. We do know with the Ana ban from Camp Jump Shot, we might be seeing a little less dive and a little more brawl.
Yeah, I think they're on brawl here. I won't be surprised to see Arissa Mirror, maybe Habitable, maybe Ramatcha Mirror, Ramatcha against Arissa. Very unlikely, but those are going to be the two tanks that I would not be surprised to see without that on him.
Yeah, we've got... So I believe we might have Nidus in for that map one from the side of Red Bandas. If that's the case, then we're probably seeing maybe a Hazard and maybe a Ramatra, a lot more of a bit of a grounded tank player here. Fine for a map like Rialto for sure. I'll be curious to see how that carries out through the set. On the other side, we do have Camp Jump Shot. We'll see what tank they come in here on. We could probably be getting a brawl matchup overall. Maybe a little bit of poke, play off the more pokey DPS line from Camp Jump Shot. We're just really waiting to see once the map loads in what we're going to see from these players.
Yeah. And I mean, no one picked it. Here we go. So, Hazard, not bad. Double Hazard mirror, okay.
Yeah, we're going over. We do see Trisky, we are seeing the Hazard, which is really good. Same from Camp Jump Shot here. It looks like, again, we haven't seen anything yet. We have no confirmation locked in except from the Red Bandas. Weaver Bat. This is a backline that's been popping up a lot recently.
Yeah, I mean, you have Pool, which can, works as a cleanse and basically free invulnerability. You have Immort, which is your invulnerability. I mean, you have a pedal that pulls you high. You have a window for your offensive. So coming to this, you have one support that can play super protective and cautious and more, safety healing side. You have another support backline that can play, aggressive, more attacking side. So we have a good mix of both worlds over here.
Yeah, we've got a good, interesting mix up here. The only thing that is the same, though, is that we will be seeing a Hazard duel going on to the side here. Press Q looking to take an initial high ground advantage as Seal CEO drops low. For those that are interested, yes, Jen is not going to be here for a little bit, so Seal CEO on to the DPS for this team for this match.
Wow,
and immediately Froggy goes down.
Yeah, Froggy just out. I mean, not horrible for Camp Jump Shot. I mean, it wasn't the flank, but definitely you kind of lose your distraction piece here. And you just have to be careful here as Hazard.
Yeah, side angle now gone. This is a little bit of a slowdown for Camp Jump Shot. Both teams, they have some pretty good pick potential. Losing the Tracer isn't the worst thing ever, but now the Tracer's back and Froggy almost drops immediately.
Wow, Mint is just, human, but it's just raining down the thorns. I mean, Froggy has to get through and has to just find them, but with him next to being BAP, you're not going to get far. That's just going to save him. You can go up. You have to look for the Soj. I mean, Soj is so far out away from her team right now.
And speaking of people out of the side of the team, Press Q is just too far to the side. Yes, maybe they wanted to press the aggression, knowing that on the opposite side, Bread was out of the fight for a little bit, but a little bit too gung-ho, and oh my god, and Seal CEO, Freak Bob down immediately. Seal CEO doing so much on this Pharah pick so far.
Yeah, just been constant pressure. I mean, if you're Camp Jump Shot, I mean, so would you have to... You want to look up there. I get it. I can be able to hit our shot. That should be your main target because no one's going to contest Seal So up there.
Yeah, doing really good here. Initial burst, forcing Bread at the back. Amazing follow-up shot from Ugg. That's why we see the window come out from Dyer here. Dyer gets rid of Ugg. People low. It's pretty even with both sides losing their Sojourn. So right now you see Camp Jump Shot. They're just going to take a second, building up, looking for a window in return, and press Q in the back line. Looks like he's going to be pressing Q. Sticking in the BAP and goes down.
I mean, oh my god, he's gonna go for a dive here. He does. Just did save. Wow, great save there by Mint. I mean, I don't know how that worked. It looks like Trixie also used ult, but did not work or get any value out of it. Kind of sold the back line, but cannot clean up on press Q there. And with this, I think Sealso's gonna look for, Virachi here to hold point. Wait for team to regroup. I mean, if you're Monarch here, you gotta save Immort and hope that everyone's looking at that far as she comes through.
Yeah, really good aggressive play there. Barrage comes out, no value. Breadhover picks out Froggy and Press Q. What was once an amazing front hold to try and stop the pressure onto it, then becomes just being out of position and dropping.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side, I mean, you also used Tree, just to gain point. Wow, just line them up. I don't think they're going to be able to get out.
Oh no, it looks like they're
Not.
stuck here. The lamp was used and just such good pressure from the side of Trisky, following up on CLCO's rockets.
I mean, if you're Camp Jump Shot here, you have a minute left on the clock. You have 3 ults in the tank. You guys have to beat Bread here to ult usage. Has to just be more on top with these OC. Froggy has to get a good clean bomb stick here that does not involve Emort. And I mean, Free Bob has to just save Rally for like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, this has come down to final fight here. Camp Jump Shot, they're taking the additional time to get a bit better positioning. That could have been really bad. CLCO doing a really good job checking the angles. He does need to be the one to kind of press Froggy out. And it looks like the rally coming out, maybe trying to see if they can immediately blow up Trisky, and Trisky is one. Pulse Bomb goes wide here as the OC comes out, and this is a lot of damage pressure. We've seen so many defensive cooldowns. You just have to sustain if you're at Bandas, but that's becoming tougher and tougher as Trisky goes down.
I mean, someone's still stalling. Someone's still on point. I mean, and they finally get it. I think if you're Red Bandas here, you just gotta get out or you die. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like
he's gonna be able to get out, swap spawns.
Oh, the spawn swap died right at the end, and they get out anyway. That's insane. I don't think that they remembered. Bap does have hops. I mean, he is on Camp Jump Shot, but Bap has the hops on both sides here. So Red Bandas, another lease on life. What are they gonna do with it on the second point?
Yeah, and you have Window coming up for Red Bandas here. Still have 2 else on this side. I think they're gonna try to do both, rain down and then Window. But I mean, someone's got to get something going. Emor comes out, ooh, just gets popped.
Yeah, a little bit too high for the Immo to catch Monarch. Trisky cleaning up Ugg there, and it looks like Camp Jump Shot, they had a little momentum. They got it across bridge. They're at the first corner, and overall, not a terrible initial push. Nothing really used from the side of Camp Jump Shot or Red Bandas here. And so now we're just going to see. Grip, nice and safe.
Yep. I mean, Froggy has pulse on again. I mean, but he's got to stick it. Life Weaver has, a dash. Everyone here on this team has the ability to get away. So it's gonna be very hard to get a lot of value out of that. So we see Press keep trying to get up top. Barrage comes out, gets one.
Just evaporated.
Yep. Grips again.
Yeah, and if you're on the side of Camp Jump Shot here, you're dwindling down, you're under a minute, your util is getting forced here, and it's become a lot tougher. I mean, both sides on the Bap Weaver, both sides have so much util. You're a bit ahead if you're Camp Jump Shot, just to the fact that you have DPS ults here coming up, but it looks like Red Bandas are not going to give them any chance. And does anyone fall to this? No, I think the only one that might is still CEO here is their 1 HP, and yes, but Mint gets the trade, and Froggy just going down there. This is getting super close, but if you're on Red Bandas, you're just trying to not use the rest of your ult bank and just let the fight go the side of Camp Jump Shot.
Yeah, he's got a kite here. I mean, come back, you're gonna have 3 ults.
Amazing shot.
Camp Jump Shot though, gets 1, might be able to get away with 2. Oh,
I think that one shot might have been all they needed. They lose the BAP at the beginning of the fight. Cart might be far back enough, and amazing pressure as both sides lose a DPS. Window's about to lose all of its value. Trisky 1.
Trisky 13 gets saved. Oh my god. Emor comes out.
What an amazing.
Like up 200 HP.
It's really close here from the side. You need Brad to get value here, but he's being forced out. And the point isn't. Oh my god, it gets touched. That's almost a C9.
I mean, coming to this, who's gonna get first? Oh, we're gonna get one. He gets gripped out of the way. Press Q cannot get anything going. Just getting stalled, pulled every minute momentum. Just gets them, but she gets the first pick here in this fight. Ray gets the second. I think it's gonna be easy cleanup here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cleanup. I think it all just came down to Camp Jump Shot had a really good attempt there, really good push. But I think the fact that Ugg just doesn't get that little bit of extra damage onto Mint, the tree comes out, and then the Immo saves Trisky right at the last second, I think that's what turns the fight. If you can do that, 10 more damage to Mint, then I think you cap that.
Yeah. I mean, see stats here. Froggy ain't really doing much in that Tracer. At 1-5, I get your whole point is to be, flanking and be, just distracts him. But when you're facing a bat that can fly or jump, Life Gear that can dash, Fair that can actually fly away from you, a Surge that can slide away from you, and a Hazard that can die away from you. It has like 607 HP. There's no value. You gotta just go more heavy hitter, or Sombra would be your best if you want to be a little bit of distraction.
Yeah, and it looks like
more of an impact of burning.
It looks like Froggy's realizing that now. Presses tab and is like, oof, man. On to the Torb. I like this for a couple reasons. The main one being that it's a lot more value. You get the turret on the side angle. It is harder for Trisky to get value on the Hazard. Torb is one of those few DPS that really matches up well in a Hazard with the extra damage, the extra HP. Doesn't mind getting dove as much. And if you're looking at this side here from Red Bandas, I feel like you feel pretty confident going into this. You had a really strong hold, and you played really well around your BAP Weaver backline. So it's really just going to come down to how much value these DPS can have.
Yeah, I mean, right here for Camp Jump Shot, you have to play this choke point so close. Like, you cannot let him get just around this corner.
Yeah,
on the Bandas side of things, you want to, of course, push as fast, but you can just, slow them out, wait them out, and just make them get impatient here.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like wall coming. Trisky might fall here. I think there's just a bit too much aggression from the side.
Before it comes out, I think, and gets gripped. And just like a great save there by Mint, it's a good regroup.
It's going to be a little rough here. I think Trisky just went in a little bit too early. You need Payload to maybe even reach the second turn to be able to go that aggressive, because the rest of your team just couldn't help you at all.
Yeah. I mean, look at this. Dyer's just going for insane hops to stay alive. And
yeah,
I mean, it's playing corner again, and then just playing corner fights, keeping Trisky up, trying to bait. I can see they're trying to bait Press Q into that little room there and just block off his sights. But on DPS side of things, no one's doing anything. They're just kind of just shooting at things, just trading back shots.
You're needing resources to be traded, especially if you're on the side of Red Bandas. You need to force something, but I won't lie, like the Torb damage output has done a ton. There's a lot that's been going on here. I think we saw the grip come out a little bit as well. And so we're really just curious to see what the trades are going. Yeah, I think that Trisky ended up going down. But we're just really waiting to see how this fight plays out.
Yeah. Something's happening, guys. I promise. What it is, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just on our side, but currently we can't really see the match that's going on. We're going to be seeing. Yeah, it looks like both sides have tree.
Lot of ults used. I think Teardown right now just came out. I think OC came out. Gets one with OC, gets two.
Okay, it looks like it's come back. Okay, we were delayed here. We're back on. It looks like whatever Red Bandas didn't work. And so Camp Jump Shot, SCLCO dying at the beginning here. Press Q, really good initial die, but it looks like he might die for it. So we love the grip here from the Weaver. It is going to be a little rough. Camp Jump Shot, they just have such an iron grip on this.
Yeah, I mean, Red Bandas has less than a minute, and you have Froggy here who's going to wait out with Torbold. And Press Q gets another pick. And that's two.
Also goes down. It's just so rough. Red Bandas, you felt so confident. I feel like heading into this round, you played this BAP Weaver backline so well. But when it came down to it on the other side here, I don't know what happened. I think the Torb may just be like a bit too much damage. Press Q is getting like a bit too much value. I think there's the side of Red Bandas. Like, you need to win this fight to even stay in this map. Or Camp Jump Shot, I mean, you have such an advantage.
Yeah, that's going to hold you. I mean, he definitely wants to ult. Just gives him to ult here. Everyone wants to hit their ults. I think Froggy's going to use his, like, last. If anything, Teardown comes out. Gets one. Trisky gets gripped. OC comes out. Press Q gets one. Tree comes out, but not on point.
CLCO goes
Rip
down. You
again.
can see the benefit of the Weaver and the BAP, and now the Torb. It's doing so much, and honestly, like, this map,
No
it
one
felt
can-
like it was going the way of Red Bandas, but like, I gotta give it. I genuinely think this Torb pick made it so hard for them to push through.
Yeah. I do think though in that attack from Red Bandas, they were playing just an angle that wasn't working. Presky and Trisky were just playing up top that little room, and the DPS weren't doing anything on Red Bandas' side. Kim Jumpshot was just kind of keeping them at bay, and Red Bandas was just scared to move forward because Trisky wouldn't move forward. Presky was keeping them that every time Trisky moved out, wall came out. Trisky gonna move, no one had sights. On the side of things, you had the Soj and Torb kind of together, and the other supports kind of spread out. They're a bit more split, able to have different angles. Red Bandas was a little bit just, they're all kind of congested, and if you cannot get a sight, no one had a sight.
Yeah, I would have really liked to see a bit of that like far angle flank on that map there. Maybe you see CEO go back to the far edge, take a side angle. Maybe you see a Kiri or a Lu, or just something on that side to help it. But they were just funneled. They just sat in main. It was really tough for them to get anything. And if you're a Torb and if you're a Soj, like, the most beautiful thing you can ever see is everyone in the same spot.
Yeah, and I mean, going next will be Busan. So we'll see. I'm excited to see bans. I mean, I'm sad that Lucy got banned on my map. It kind of upset me. But I'm excited to see. I mean, for Red Bandas side, press Q is kind of your biggest issue. Tracer wasn't so much an issue, wasn't doing much. But again, that's a different map. It's a different map and different tank, different layout. So very possible it's just going to be very issue on Busan. Camp Drone Shot side of things, their banners will get that on back if they need it. Their main thing is probably going to be that Life Weaver. I mean, they're both using Life Weaver, but Life Weaver was kind of keeping Red Bandas alive on the defensive attack more than anything.
Yeah, it was a very supposedly even matchup here, but Camp Jump Shot, they pulled up, they got back on the court, they got in a few new characters, and this time they were able to pull it on to their side. And I'm just very curious to see what we'll do in this map too. The ban is going to be big.
Yes. Of course, going to this, it's make or break. Camp Jump Shot takes this, they move up a spot over, they leapfrog Red Bandas, they move down one. Red Bandas wins this. I think my team still has the map differential advantage over them when it comes to record.
Yes,
So
it will
but
be
they did beat
5-7.
It did beat us though.
It will be 5-7. This is a very good thing. Both teams, they need this win. They need to be able to go forward. It's make or break as we've kind of pushed into this. And Busan, it's a very curious map to see. I mean, we just watched it a little bit ago on the previous stream. And so we're going to see how do Red Bandas adapt. They need to stay in this. Their schedule looks tough. Camp Jump Shot schedule looks tough. This is a must win for both teams.
Yeah. Kendra has the advantage here. If I'm Red Bandas, I'm kicking myself. Great attack run or great defensive run. Can do more. Oh my god, not again.
And the Lucio
no.
bans keep coming. It's a curse. But now we've also got the Orisa ban on the side here too. So Busan, a map, very able to play a lot of things. Super flexible. I'm curious to see, we might still see this BAP Weaver, might still see the Has. Honestly, neither of these bans really prohibit either team from playing what they did last map.
No. I do think though Orisa with Horse, take a lot of space in Busan, be able to stay alive along great sense. With Lucio, you lose the speed. So we'll probably see a Juno here for sure. Probably Juno Brig, if not Juno BAP. You definitely need speed ring to get to point first.
I'm very curious to see how both teams will play this. We saw over all Camp Jump Shot, they were just able to take that little bit of a layup over Red Bandas once they swapped their comp up a bit. And it's going to be very curious to see. I imagine we'll still see Hazard. Orisa, we might have seen it, but that's off at the table here. And it looks like we're seeing a little bit of a change up. We've got the Ramatra. You did call that out. We are going to see the Brig Juno. But Camp Jump Shot, I don't think they really needed to change their core at all. The DPS they can change up, but the BAP, Weaver, Hazard, it just looked really strong.
I mean, looking at this Reaper pick by Brad has to go insane. He'll do a lot of damage to the tank. Probably wipe Soldier if he gets a chance to. But this Freya battle is going to be who's going to be the better Freya?
Exactly here. We've got Froggy, interestingly, out on this Soldier, and Brett on the other side onto the Reaper. Two characters we don't see a lot of, honestly.
No, not at all. I mean, I haven't seen much Reaper, to my knowledge. No changes in the patch updates. Emor already comes out, just already forcing it out. They're going to try to make some. I mean, they're flipping side already on them.
Yeah, Red Bandas.
Going to take point.
I think the big thing difference here that you see on this mecha base is Red Bandas, they don't have the same level of mobility the Camp Jump Shot do. I mean, the Hazard, they're able to go from point to the high ground. They have that grip potential if someone has to contest on their side. It's just a lot easier for them to maneuver around this point. And as we can see here, press Q, he's dropping beneath, force the lamp out, taken out, but he's so one, and that's grip force as well.
It's grip. I mean, yeah, unless you take out the supports, that tank can never die. Grip has a decent, good cooldown being used. Emor has a decent, good cooldown when used. You have to.
And Frey's being traded out.
Yeah, Frey's getting traded out.
This is going to be big.
Red Bandas does have point here. They're going to be able to get back the percentage that they need that they lost. And Camp Jump Shot's kind of playing split. You have 3 up top. You have 1 on bridge. I think 2 are on bridge. Yeah, you have 1 in your back line. Like 1 coming back from spawn. Here you have 2, 1, 2.
I don't hate this positioning because I think as they've identified Red Bandas, their comp is a lot safe. Their comp is a lot brawlier. They don't have the mobility. Tree comes out, Teardown comes out. No one caught by that, but Dupider just drops, and there goes Seal CEO, and I think Dyer just presses the rally a little bit too late. I think it's just tough at this point. I liked the initial positioning, recognizing the weaknesses in your comp, but overall, I mean, Camp Jump Shot, the mobility, the angles, it just goes so much farther on that extra mile than Red Bandas could like really handle.
Yeah, I mean, both teams used. Oh, Red Bandas used 4 ults. Camp Jump Shot only used 3. So Camp Jump is more in the tank with window and visor. But I do think Red Bandas, if they can get this. They swap 2. They swap Hazard. They can get the Reaper ult. They'll be set. Just have to watch out for a lot of things here.
Yeah, and it looks like Visor comes out, already forced the defensive cooldowns from the side of Camp Jump Shot. This is more just to buy time. You know, you're down your defensive cooldowns.
Yeah, more card control. Window finally comes out. Again, just gonna hold them, contain them. I mean, with that, they take point. They're gonna be 10, maybe 15% more on them if they take this point.
Yeah, and it looks like Seal CEO gets picked there on the side angle from Press Q. I don't know how that ended up happening from Red Bandas. You were in such a defensive position, but it just looks like you just can't die for Red Bandas. Just give it a second, group back up, and just regroup, get 5, and look to attack, because this could be the final offense they get.
Yeah, and I mean, they're just kind of going through. I mean, you see Freya trying to get something going. Fred's looking for something here. He's going for it. 1,
and that's just an
2.
amazing Reaper ult. You just clear everyone.
Yeah. And so they didn't even have to use Bola. They didn't have Bola there, so they got 1 great teamfight win with 1 DPS kill. And I mean, you saw Camp Jump Shot was definitely prepared for it. They kind of just, he baited out Emort, he baited out Grip. There's nothing more they could do. All they could do is really just sit there and just hope that the pellets went out of the way.
Yeah, a little rough there, but this is exactly the momentum shift that Red Bandas need, able to bring this back around. Camp Jump Shot, they've got a lot of ults coming up, but so does Red Bandas. This is really going to come down to if Red Bandas can just buy a little bit of time, and it looks like only the tank, but that's fine if you're Hazard.
He's not with him. I mean, for Camp Jump Shot there, I mean, yeah, you have the tank down, but your whole team was still, like, on your side of spawn of the map. Like, no one was pushed out. So either miscommunication, someone didn't listen, or maybe Press Q just didn't say anything out loud. Maybe he thought he did and just spoke.
And it looks like this is going to go low. Camp Jump Shot here. They can't really lose anyone, but Bread goes down on the side of Red Bandas. They need to look for a trade out. The team is split. This is your opportunity to trade, and that's not the trade you want. Froggy kills CCO.
I mean, Rally comes out, Window comes out. I do think Window's going to be stronger here. It is.
Yeah, another bit of a little bit too late from Dyer on that rally. I just am not super sure how Bread and CCO die so early in this. In Bread, you know, he had such a good fight before, winning it for his team with that Reaper, but I don't think he's going to be able to repeat it as the round goes to Camp Jump Shot.
I think what happened was, on the other side for Bread and Silso, was they walked in that room because they were all, you know, Camp Jump Shot was all in there, and I think Press Q used his wall and just kept them trapped. That's the only thing that makes the most sense. Because there's no way you would, your whole team is in that corridor, you pop out and then you die. you have to be trapped somewhere in order for that to happen.
Yeah, it is looking a little rough if you're a Red Bandas fan or a Red Bandas player. You need to find a way to turn it around. You had some good moments there from that team, but Camp Jumpshot, they've found this BAP Weaver backline, and even though the util is being forced, it's so defensive, it's so hard to break that they're just able to take complete control of any like downside they have in a fight.
Yeah, and we're going to this. Froggy back on the Tracer, hoping to maybe get something out of this time. But again, maybe the Brig is your best pick, but everyone else has some ability to get away from you.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about this Tracer pick again.
it's a little rough. I mean, it was a lot harder, but Froggy immediately going into picking up Brett, and Dyer is just being shoved into the locker, and that's just a clean team fight win from Camp Jumpshot.
Yeah, Jump gets 2. I mean, he needs to get He's just still find that. I mean, I get it, you get back, but you should just like stay close and have your spot. So now they're waiting. No, that's good. You know, they're gonna get to at least 10% uncontested.
Yeah, and we've got a bit of a swap up here. We're going on to the Ana. I'm curious. I'm surprised we're not seeing a little bit of a swap up from COCO back onto the far. It looked so good in the previous map here. In Camp Jumpshot, I like that they're holding up. The benefit of this Weaver is you can play really aggressive if you're press Q because you have that grip as the safety blanket.
Big nade coming out there from Jupiter. Could have gotten one bit to save his team. Press Q just kind of trying to wait him out. I mean, he's just in. And
yeah,
he's not getting heavily punished for it.
Nidus saved again. Another great nade to keep their team in this fight, but it is starting to dwindle away as we see the point getting closer and closer to 50%. And Press Q, they just want to jump in, and UG managed to take out Steel CEO, and this is slipping away from Red Bandas.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're playing in like a little hidey hole on the far side away from point, and Big Bomb comes out. I think they might, unless she has recall. She does not. So Froggy goes down again. Does Nano come out here? Nano does come out here. Tree comes out.
In response. It's looking back and forth.
No one is looking though. No one is looking right now.
And Jupiter, they're just like trying to live, and maybe we get a trade out here from the side. Red Banda's really looking for this. Red, great pick back into his team. And that window, never mind. Socio decides that they're off the map. Don't know how that happened.
He gets gripped. Oh my god, Dyer gets a trade on the tank, but Frog gets the trade back on Dyer. And they're down there, down a tank. I do think this goes, but I mean, if we can stay alive here and just contest point for a while.
Yeah, I think 99 is guaranteed, but Freak Bomb manages to get out. Froggy back on the point. And UG manages to turn this around, and I think this is spelling the doom for this team as Nidus. Hazard's good, but he's not good enough to win this one.
No. I mean, I don't know how Freak Bomb got out. He was main on bridge next to Soj and didn't get punched. So
it was a miracle.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That was... Wow.
Wow, that was a quick set. Camp Jumpshot, they were on the back foot for a bit, but I really think it was them like figuring out like the Weaver BAP was just looking really good for them the second they transferred over to it, and it just carried them for the rest of the set. I mean, like they had such a good defense after the swap, and then they go on to this map, and it just looks like pretty dominant on the side of that. I would have liked to see Red Bandas go back to the same Weaver backline that they played in map 1 that did so good for them.
Yeah. Personally, I think my MVP has to be either the Weaver or Monarch, in my opinion. Those two, I think, are one of my MVPs.
Yeah, I think I have to give it to the Weaver. I mean, it was played so well. I think that Monarch did a really good job as well. Overall, this entire team did pretty solid. I mean, across that, I know we had some swaps around. If we do have to give it to an individual, I do want to almost give it to the Torb. There was just so many good moments in swaps that ended up taking into this match. And it's tough. I do, however, think that the Weaver, it completely swung the fight in this team's favor.
Yeah, I mean, running that off rip and then making it work and then flipping it on them on the other side when you're on defense and just doing better than them on it is kind of insane.
Yes, so congratulations to Camp Jumpshot. As we pointed out, this was a win you needed to get, and your schedule, it's a little bit easier than Red Bandas was. Red Bandas, I think you're beating yourself up a little bit because, I mean, you've got Mothmania and Reprieve in front of you. I don't know if I'm a B-League team, but I know I don't think any B-League team is that happy to fight Mothmania into Reprieve back-to-back.
No. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. Mothmania 5-0, Reprieve 4-1. And the other side of things, for Red Bandas, again, Reprieve 4-1, Blaming Society is 3-2. So still heavy hitters. I mean, it's just, are you going to be able to withstand them? I mean, Red Bandas has to come with a map win no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Just to stay up.
Red Bandas
But
right now, they're fighting What's Up, Doc, to not fall into 8th. What's Up, Doc? They don't exactly have the easiest schedule either. I mean, they have to play Bluff Creek and Birdwatch as well. And so right now, if you're Red Bandas, are you maybe thinking, like, okay, obviously we want to look for the wins. We want to do as best we can against Mothmania Reprieve. But you're also just looking for these map wins. I mean, What's Up, Doc? They have a pretty decently tough schedule ahead of them. Birdwatch and Bigmode, not bad teams at all. And so if you're on the side of Red Bandas, you're just kind of praying, I think, at this point.
Yeah. You have to hope. I mean, for What's Up, Doc, if with these teams coming up, hopefully, I think Bigmode will beat them as a biased game. But What's Up has to get a map win or two, as in how this works. So,
yeah. And if the differential comes out, it's very curious to see. I mean, we're looking out, and let's see, like, those map wins here. If it goes even, What's Up, Doc pulls ahead because their map win is above Red Bandas. That's the team that they beat. And so if it goes to an even 3-9, Red Bandas is going to get forced down into 8th.
Yeah, and that's not where you want to be. That's elimination, no matter what for you.
Yeah. But very good job from Camp Jump Shot. Have to give them props discovering this backline that worked so well for them. Froggy, fantastic swap on to the Torbjorn. And I mean, just kind of redeem themselves a little bit on that Tracer as well. I mean, if you're Red Bandas, I think you go back to the chalkboard, figure out what you need to do for these games.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I have nothing else to add. What about you?
Yeah, I think, honestly, that set was kind of nice and quick. I was expecting a bit more of a contestation, but overall, I think that's kind of it for us here in this Red Bandas Camp Jump Shot match.
Yeah. So, I mean, the next map is starting late for some reason. Either the other game went long for some reason, or the other team took long. But that is just now going to be starting.
Yeah, so head on over to BPL mainstream, watch this final match. And remember here, I think stuff just got dragged late because we had so many map 3s back to back to back. And so it was supposed to start at 9. So it is a bit behind. But go over. Again, this match means a lot on the side of Aspen Division. But I think that is Ian's Relevance signing off on the B stream.
Yes, it is that. Eyeball.
Alrighty, farewell, everyone then.
Good night.
Hey, has it been